It's 7 p.m. It's time for Salvatore's to cook dinner. Coupons at salvatores.com.
Welcome to the Road to the Dome pregame show, everyone. I'm Greg Vorse, along for this ride with you. We're getting ready for the AA Far West Regional between 10-0 Lancaster out of Section 6 and 9-1 Aquinas from Section 5. We've already seen 4 regional titles handed out. They went to West Seneca West, Cheektowaga, Cleveland Hill, and Maple Grove as all those teams from Section 6 advanced. For more on those big dogs of AA, I hand our coverage off to a pair of former coaches, that's Sal Capaccio and Len Jankowitz.
Welcome here to SUNY Brockport, where it is the Far West Regional. We're getting set for the Class AA Showdown. It should be a great one. Lancaster and Aquinas. But first, let's give you the Far West Regional update. What happened this weekend here at Brockport? Sal Capaccio along with you with Len Jankowitz. We got a great one on tap, but a couple of other great ones have already finished here today, and they started last night. Let's go to the Class D final, the regional final between Maple Grove from Section 6 and Clyde Savannah from Section 5. This one had a lot of scoring in it. You see right here for Clyde Savannah, Austin Diver getting things going right away, making it 6-0, but back comes Maple Grove. Nash Nelson, his first of 4 touchdowns on the evening, made it 6-6. Back comes Nash Nelson again, this time in the second quarter, takes the handoff, runs around left end, gets a couple of blocks. He has an escort out there. He gets into the end zone, makes it 14-6. And then Maple Grove shows off the kicking game. They put it in and then get another grunt here, and this is Easton Tanner who gets in to make it 14-6 there. Actually, that was the 2-point conversion. And now here comes Easton Tanner, a touchdown, running it in here to make it 22-6. So Maple Grove is well on their way. This one had a lot of scoring, even the first half especially, and that was the 2-point conversion. After that touchdown, that was Nick Fabrizio. But back comes Clyde Savannah. This is Derek Chance with a long pass and a catch down the sidelines, getting the pay dirt. That made it 22-14 after Camden Chance converted on this 2-point conversion play right here. The throw into the end zone, catch, and a 22-14 score. This is the Class D final, remember, for the West Regional. The winner goes on to play in the state Final Four. Here comes Nash Nelson again. How about this run, Coach? This kid was unstoppable.
You know, Coach Fisher has his team really cranked up, and they know the road to get to that state final.
And this was Taze Jones who gets in the 2-point conversion, barely gets it over the goal line. That made the score 30-14 at halftime. We go to the third quarter. Guess who? It's Nash Nelson once again for Maple Grove, smashing his way. Nash gets in for another touchdown, 38-14 after the 2-point conversion coming up right here. This one by Carson Christ on a nice pass and a catch, just getting his feet down in the back of the end zone. For Maple Grove, Nick Fabrizio. We already heard from him once. We're going to hear from him again. Here comes Fabrizio, takes the jet sweep handoff on the inside, puts his foot in the ground, and just walks into the end zone. That made it 44-14, and then it's Fabrizio once again converting on his own touchdown, 46-14. You see how Maple Grove can come at you from many different ways.
You know, Sal, you wonder whether or not that game they had at New Era Field against Evil Franklin really kicked them in the overgear for this state title run.
It was 46-14 after that. Clyde Savannah does come back. They have a lot of work to do. They get one here. This is Austin Diver once again. Terrific catch on the back of the side of the end zone right there. Kept his feet in bounds, and then Austin Diver once again. This time the back of the end zone over top of a defender. That made it 46-22. We go to the fourth quarter. 46-22 our score, and it's Nick Fabrizio once again from just a couple of yards out getting into the end zone. And then on the 2-point conversion, it's Easton Turner for the 2-pointer. That's good. It's 54-22 after this 2-point conversion coming up here by Easton Turner of Maple Grove. Once again, that made it 54-22. And then we had one final score tacked on by Maple Grove. The final score, 61-28. Maple Grove, out of Section 6, goes on to the state Final Four. It's somewhere they've been many times before.
Unbelievable scoreboard tout here, and again, credit to Coach Fisher.
All right, let's take a look at Class A. This was the late game last night. West Seneca West. We got a chance to see them last week at a New Era Field. That man right there who released the ball, that is Matt Myers. He's going to the University at Buffalo. He's committed verbally to them, gets rid of the ball. That's Brian Ball, who winds up taking it into the end zone for the early 7-0 lead. Then it's Matt Myers once again, this time hooking up with Justin Johnson. Over the shoulder catch. That makes it 14-0 after the extra point was good. That's how we go to the second quarter. Here, however, comes Ricky Gamble. Watch this catch. Gamble right between two defenders, holds on to it, and winds up taking it the rest of the way. That gets Wilson Magnet on the scoreboard, 14-8. The snow is starting to fall down here at SUNY Brockport in this one late in the contest. The two-point conversion is good. That's what made it 14-8, but back comes Matt Myers. This is a young man who can not only throw, but he can run as well.
You know, over 400 total yards credited to that man last night, Sal.
Matt Myers gets in there, and then in the third quarter, Matt Myers looks, Matt Myers runs, tucks it, puts it in his left hand, and you see the speed there, Coach. This is a kid that's playing quarterback or tight end at the next level.
Pretty incredible for a 6'4", 220-pound athlete.
That's Matt Myers. He gets into the end zone, and the Indians for West Seneca West make it 27-8. Dejan Dash, however, is going to have something to say about that. He cuts the lead to 27-14 after a touchdown there, but back comes West. It's Kyle Haddock. Kyle with a big catch and a run, and Kyle Haddock, he gets in 33-14. That makes the score with Haddock getting into the end zone for West Seneca West. Back comes Wilson Magnet. This is, once again, first it's going to be Desi Floyd Jr. actually getting into the end zone, and then it's going to be Dejan Dash who gets the two-pointer. So now it is a 33-22 game. So really, Wilson Magnet was still in this thing going into the fourth quarter. But here it is, West Seneca West putting it away with a touchdown by John Spire. That made it 40-22, and that's how that ball game ends. And for the second game, 2 for 2, Section 6 going on to the state Final Four.
You know, those true champions like Matt Myers is, those are the best. They lift others up this time of year, Sal.
So now we come here today. This is this afternoon. We started off with Cleveland Hill out of Section 6 going against Cal Mumford out of Section 5. Could Section 5 get their first win of the afternoon? Not if that man, Aaron Waller, has something to say about it. He bangs it in for the first score of the game. And then the two-point pass right here is good to Mazurowski of Cleveland Hill. That makes it 8-0. Cal Mum comes right back, however. Read option, right up the gut. The quarterback untouched. Anthony May goes 65 yards to the house. That made it 8-6. The extra point kick was no good, so we stand at 8-6 into the second quarter. Cleveland Hill with all of that speed. How about this man? Javon Thomas, a 50-yard run after bouncing off defenders, takes it all the way into the end zone. Cleveland Hill now takes a 8-point lead, and after that, Aaron Waller once again gets into the end zone on a two-point conversion after the pitch right here gets to the pylon, and Cleveland Hill extends the lead. But back comes Cal Mum once again. Lucas Stuckio, a 48-yard pass, breaks a tackle, winds up getting into the end zone. Cal Mum on the move, and this was right before halftime. They did kick the extra point, so now Cleve Hill leads only 16-13. And Cal Mum then takes the lead in the third quarter. Bryce Yackel with the 2-yard run right there. The kick was good. Cal Mum led Cleve Hill 20-16 going into the fourth quarter. They're down 20-16, and then the Cleve Hill speed just takes over. It's Aaron Waller going to pay dirt from 50 yards out. He makes it 22-20. Cleve Hill up on top. They come up with a fourth down conversion stop at midfield. Then, right away after that, it's Javon Thomas once again. On the pitch from Ryan Mazurowski, Thomas takes it all the way into the end zone. Cleveland extends the lead to 10. They're up 2 scores, and then they finish it off with another touchdown coming up right here from Aaron Waller. This is the one right here. We're going to see it. 91 yards from Aaron Waller. You're not stopping that man once he gets out in the open field.
I was getting tired just watching it run. How about Waller, Mazurowski, and Thomas, that three-headed monster that the Eagles will just take with them, into the semifinals. Just credit to the Cleveland Hill team for just tacking it on today. Really a great effort. Cleveland
Hill winds up representing Section 6 and making it 3 for 3 as they give Coach Glenn Graham the Gatorade bath here at SUNY Brockport. 38-20. Cleve Hill was down 20-16. They win it 38-20. Then the game that just finished up a little while ago. One of the state powerhouses for so many years, Hornell out of Section 5 going against Cheektowaga out of Section 6. Who strikes first? This is a big catch and run there by Jaquan Bush, a 32-yarder as he makes it 6-0 Cheektowaga. Once again, Cheektowaga on the move. It's Keyshawn Beal. Goes in from just a few yards out. That makes it 12-0. And then the 2-point conversion, it's going to be Jaquan Bush once again, making it 14-0. Cheektowaga, they struck early, and it really kind of put Hornell in a spot they didn't want to be in.
You know, the speed of Cheektowaga really showed in that first quarter, and they really never let up on that gas pedal.
We didn't have any scoring until the fourth quarter. It was 14-0 until Keyshawn Beal, once again bangs his way in, and that really put this game out of reach for Hornell, who just couldn't keep up with that Warrior speed out of Cheektowaga. That made it 21-0, and then a big pass and a catch and a run after the catch by Tommy Zolnowski. He's had a terrific year for Coach Fata and Cheektowaga. That made it 28-0 Warriors. They would not have the shutout, however, because back comes Hornell. This is going to be Josh Stiles, who winds up hooking up on a pass and a catch, getting into the end zone. 28-6, the final score. So Cheektowaga out of Section 6 makes it 4 for 4 for the Western New York teams. Oh, by the way, the last two games we've had here, the first two games, both Cheektowaga town schools. You got Cleveland Hill out of Cheektowaga Central High School right there. But right now, 4 for 4 for Section 6. Aquinas with the chance to maybe get their first win for Section 5. And that's the game we're going to have coming up for you on Spectrum Sports. When we come back, Sal Capaccio along with Len Jankowicz. Keep it right here. We got the AA final coming your way from SUNY Brockport.
For those in need. By engaging employee volunteers, we perform critical home repairs so families can live in their homes without worry. Our dedication to providing renovations, accessibility, safety, and energy-efficient upgrades is unwavering because helping others is rooted in our commitment to the communities we live in and serve.
I thank them so much.
Learn how you can get involved at SpectrumHousingAssist.com.
Caitlin drew this today. It's called Daddy and DirecTV.
I love the little sticky things.
Oh, no, I put those there just to cover the...
Oh, wow, that's some rough language. I would never say any of these words out loud.
Good to know.
Even though DirecTV now says they're $10 a month, it's not. You can't get it without their wireless plan, so it's 10 times more than they say. And there's no NFL network.
I just can't have this on the wall.
No,
obviously.
Of course not.
Misleading offers are evil.
Makes the other kids cry.
Spectrum doesn't have them. DirecTV bad. Spectrum good.
At Spectrum Business, the best keeps getting better. What does that mean for you? It means your business gets faster internet, more advanced voice, and the network reliability it needs. It also means no added taxes or fees, and no contracts, ever. Because at Spectrum Business, we believe in earning your business every day. It's all a part of our commitment to redefining what a cable company can be. We're sure you'll notice the difference.
All right, guys, I fold. Can you pause that?
No.
Why? Because I'm a werewolf? No. You gonna do the werewolf thing again?
It's DirecTV Now. There's no DVR. I can't pause it, can't rewind it. And before you ask, there's no Showtime, NFL Network, Red Zone, CBS.
That's evil. That's evil.
You want me to take care of it?
No.
Because I would love to.
You're freaking me out.
TV that's missing stuff is evil.
Let's play cards.
Spectrum has it all. DirecTV bad. Spectrum good.
We are at Bob Boozer Field in the Eunice Kennedy Shriver Stadium on the campus of the College of Brockport in Brockport, New York for the Far West Class AA Regional as the Lancaster Legends out of Section 6 take on the Aquinas Lil Irish out of Section 5. Hi, everyone. I'm Sal Capaccio along with the coach, Len Jankowicz. We are ready to bring you this regional showdown. The road to the Dome continues, and I can't think of two better teams to have in this matchup here tonight, Coach.
You know, Sal, arguably two of the most talented Class AA football teams in New York State are squaring off tonight in Brockport. Both offenses are extremely explosive. Both defenses are really stingy. And you know what? Both coaches are hoping that they can say their three favorite words of their team in the locker room after the game, Sal. Practice on Monday.
Let's take a look at the Lancaster Legends coming out of Section 6. They come into tonight's game with a perfect 10-0 record. In fact, the Legends are 20-1 over the last 2 years, and that, by the way, coincides with Coach Eric Rupp's tenure here at Lancaster. He's done a terrific job. Their only loss coming last year in this game right here in this round to Victor. The key player to watch for the Legends is two-way standout number 62, Joe Andreessen. This kid does it all. 83 tackles on defense, 16 for loss, 4 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries. On special teams, he has 3 blocked kicks. He also runs with the football, 37 rushes for 265 yards, 12 touchdowns. That's an over 7-yard per average carry, and he also can play some quarterback.
You know, anybody that followed Joe Andreessen this year simply knows that he dominates every game he plays in, and he really had a monster game versus Will North last week in the sectional championship. He's a 3-way contributor. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch him just try to block kicks and block punts. And look for him and his linebacking partners, Ben Damiani and Brett Beato, to be standouts tonight, Sal.
Let's take a look at the other side of the field at the Little Irish of Aquinas out of Section 5. They are no strangers to this round. They come into tonight's game with a 9-1 record under first-year head coach Derek Anacino. They won the Section 5 title with a 20-14 win over Pittsford last week, a good Pittsford team. They took them all the way down, beat them, got here. The player to watch, number 5, TJ Jones, for the season, 101 tackles, 4.5 sacks to go along with that. He also has an interception and a fumble recovery. And yes, he is a 2-way player as well. He's run for 618 yards on only 50 carries. That's a 12.4 yard per average carry and 7 touchdowns to go along with it.
Who you see on screen, TJ Jones, could be the most versatile threat on offense and defense, not only on the Aquinas football team, Sal, but in the Rochester area as well. He's already returned 2 kicks for TDs. He's simply a home run waiting to happen. And then look for him to make plays all over the field tonight.
There he is right there, but let's take a look at the keys to the game for both teams. First, for the Lancaster Legends, they do not want to let Aquinas establish momentum. They also want to be very physical on offense, something they are able to do with a pretty big offensive line. They want to dominate on special teams and get some key turnovers and win that battle. For the Little Irish on their side, they want to protect the football, keep Lancaster's offense off the field if they can do that. Also, minimize their mistakes and penalties. Lancaster will take advantage of them. They want to make sure they don't give them any extra opportunities. Swarm to the football on defense. Those are your keys to the game. Coach, this should be a really terrific matchup tonight.
You know, I visited both teams throughout the week. I went to Aquinas' practice, was really intrigued by what I saw, interviewed some players, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. And how about Coach Andacino's first year as the Aquinas coach, loses his first game with Victor, and then runs the table. You know, and then talk about Lancaster, well, 10-0 getting into this football game. They're explosive as any team in Western New York. Now they're going to be challenged with Section 5.
You are very familiar with this young man. That is Eric Rupp. He played for you at Lancaster. He's now taken over the Legends program, and in 2 seasons has them 20-1. And I will tell you, in my short time of getting to know Coach Rupp, there are very, very few young men who've been able to really walk into a situation and take charge and take over and be the kind of leader that he's been able to be for Lancaster.
Yeah, he's really a self-deprecating young man. He just deflects all the praise to his assistant coaches, to his players, and yet he works every day of the year on behalf of these kids, gives his heart into the program, and you know, it's really showing by what the kids are achieving on a football field. So.
On the other side of the football, Derek Anacino. We have 2 coaches combined only in 3 years here at the helm. For him, only his first season as head coach, a 9-1 record. Boy, that's a nice way to start your career.
Yeah, he's been with the program quite a long time. He took over for Chris Battaglia. He's been an assistant coach there for quite a while. In fact, a lot of kids are on a program, so just come up with the Aquinas program. Nick, his son, is at center. We'll talk about that situation here as the game plays out, but he's a dynamic coach, lets his coaches coach, takes charge of things when they need to be, but really has established Aquinas on the playoff level that they weren't at last year.
We're going to take a timeout here. When we come back, we'll run through some more of our keys to tonight's game and take a look at some of our special players and coaches for tonight's Double-A battle. It is Lancaster out of Section 6, Aquinas out of Section 5. And you're watching high school football, the road to the Dome on Spectrum News.
And create safe and healthy homes for those in need. By engaging employee volunteers, we perform critical home repairs so families can live in their homes without worry. Our dedication to providing renovations, accessibility, safety, and energy-efficient upgrades is unwavering because helping others is rooted in our commitment to the communities we live in and serve.
I thank them so much.
Learn how you can get involved at SpectrumHousingAssist.com.
Caitlin drew this today. It's called Daddy and DirecTV.
I love the little sticky things.
Oh, no, I put those there just to cover the...
Oh, wow, that's some rough language. I would never say any of these words out loud.
Good to know.
Even though DirecTV now says they're $10 a month, it's not. You can't get it without their wireless plan, so it's 10 times more than they say. And there's no NFL network.
I just can't have this on the wall.
No,
Obviously.
Of course not.
Misleading offers are evil.
Makes the other kids cry.
Spectrum doesn't have them. DirecTV bad. Spectrum good.
At Spectrum Business, the best keeps getting better. What does that mean for you? It means your business gets faster internet, more advanced voice, and the network reliability it needs. It also means no added taxes or fees, and no contracts, ever. Because at Spectrum Business, we believe in earning your business every day. It's all a part of our commitment to redefining what a cable company can be. We're sure you'll notice the difference.
All right, guys, I fold. Can you pause that?
No.
Why? Because I'm a werewolf? No. You gonna do the werewolf thing again?
It's DirecTV Now. There's no DVR. I can't pause it, can't rewind it. And before you ask, there's no Showtime, NFL Network, Red Zone, CBS.
That's evil. That's evil.
You want me to take care of it?
No.
Because I would love to.
You're freaking me out.
TV that's missing stuff is evil.
Let's play cards.
Spectrum has it all. DirecTV bad. Spectrum good.
We are here on the campus of SUNY Brockport, the State University of New York at Brockport. Wonderful, lovely campus here and a really nice athletic facility, and that's where these young men have a chance to get to the state Final Four today. Sal Capaccio along with the coach, Len Jankowicz. It's Lancaster against Aquinas. The winner of this one goes on to the state Final Four next week against Union Endicott, and it is a cold one here tonight. 28 degrees right now just before kickoff. A bit of a breeze, not much at all. 7 miles per hour coming out of the east-southeast. The forecast calls for this to pretty much remain about what it is. Partly cloudy, low of about 27 degrees. Last night was even colder than it is tonight, but it is cold out there. You and I know. We were down in that field earlier.
Yeah, and I think all the hand warmers are probably sold out at the local Walmart. Anyway, it's going to be a nice night for everybody to watch football. Credit all the fans that come out. 29 degrees at SUNY Brockport. By the way, Empire 8 champions. I have to congratulate Coach Mangone and his team. They beat St. Lawrence today, but before that they were Empire 8 champs. So we have a championship program here to follow, and let's hope we have a great game between two great teams.
When we have a flag on the play, we'll hear from the referee, Ed Wood. He is surrounded by his officiating crew, Brian Madej, Dale Musson, Rob Austin, and John Driscoll. This should be fun, Coach. What kind of game can we expect as far as style-wise between these two teams? As you see, Lancaster and Aquinas can put points on the board, 460 to 360, and they both have stingy defenses. Lancaster has the edge in both those areas, but let's remember, different types of schedules that these two teams play. But take a look at those offensive numbers for both these teams. Very well balanced. What kind of game can we expect aesthetically?
Well, really, I mean, if you take a look at what happened in the previous games, it was offensive explosions, you know, and the defensive coordinators are probably having a headache at home. But you really, I mean, in these games that are matched against two evenly matched teams as going against each other today, defense, Sal, has to be a priority here. And if you take a look at the points allowed by Lancaster, they've only had about 6 points from their first teamers all year. And I know that Aquinas does a good job on defense. Look for defense to be a factor, at least in the first half.
So this is the round of the state quarterfinal. Let's take a look around the state and see what else is going on. Yorktown has beaten Cornwall Central. They will face Burnt Hills Ballston Lake next in the next round in the state semifinal. Whitesboro, they beat Union Endicott, so Union Endicott doesn't get to play at home next week because that's where all the games are. They will play West Seneca West, Whitesboro will, for the state Final Four and the right to go to the Carrier Dome on Thanksgiving weekend. And then you have West Seneca West, of course, we just talked about them. They beat Wilson Magnet from out here in Section 5, and they will play Whitesboro. So that will be the Class A situation. Let's take a look at Class B. A 2-point win for Glens Falls over Grosvenor. Now they will face Pleasantville next Saturday at 3 o'clock. Pleasantville, they beat Marlboro 33-22. They'll face Glens Falls next Saturday in that 3 p.m. contest. Shenango Forks, a big win over Homer, 28-9, and then Cheektowaga just a little while ago beat Hornell on this field 28-6. So that means Shenango Forks and Cheektowaga will square off at Union Endicott next week at 3 p.m. for the right to go to the Dome. In Class C, it was over on the other side of the bracket, Holy Trinity Pride beating Ogdensburg Free Academy 41-14. They will play the winner of Albertus Magnus Burke Catholic in the game next week. Skinny Atlas 42-41. Now, I haven't seen any highlights of this one. I imagine that one is going to give a lot of ulcers to a lot of coaches out there. They will take on, Skinny Atlas will, Cleveland Hill, who was a victor here this afternoon, 38-20 over Cal Mum. So Skinny Atlas and Cleve Hill will take on each other next week for the right to go to the Carrier Dome. On the other side of the bracket in Class D, Cambridge winds up beating Mariah. They will play Millbrook next Friday at 4 p.m. Now, some of these games are switched between Friday and Saturday, but the D will be on Friday at 4 p.m. 42-20 was Millbrook beating Tuckahoe, so they will face Cambridge in that 4 p.m. game on the other side. In this side of the bracket where we are, this side of the state, it's going to be Tioga against Maple Grove. Tioga wound up beating Dolgeville 46-14, and Maple Grove, we showed you the highlights earlier, they beat Clyde Savannah 61-28. As Lancaster runs out on the field to get ready for this one, this is the AA showdown, and right now, I got to ask you, Coach, the success that Section 6 has had over 5 just seems to be like a cyclical type of thing, because it's happened in years past where 5 has beaten 6 all these games. It's happened where 6 has beaten 5. They've also had some mix. Anything that you can figure out this year why 6 has had this success?
You know, I think you hit the right word. It's cyclical. It just kind of revolves around the kind of athletes, programs you have, and a lot of different areas that happen. Remember, these are young gentlemen. They are not pros, Sal, that you're going to be talking about tomorrow at New Era Field. These are young kids that want to make a name for themselves, but as we talked about before, Sal, these kids have to do the little things right and pay attention to little things before things get away from them.
Here comes Aquinas, the Little Irish, running out of the field right now. They're at midfield, getting set to take on Lancaster. These two teams have really been ranked near the top 5, I would say, if not in the top 5, all season long throughout the state. So this is no slouch here. Both these teams, no fluke that they were able to get here. And teams that, oh, by the way, have a rich tradition and rich history. We know that Aquinas has been here before, and Lancaster has as well. Maybe not necessarily for the last couple years. They've been to this round, but Lancaster has advanced on in the state tournament before.
You know, the Aquinas team just faced a huge, when I say huge team, a great opponent in Pittsburgh last week, and really kind of came from behind to win that game. They know they can fight from behind to win games, so look for them never to be down and out in any kind of football game.
All right, let's take it down to the field right now for the playing of our national anthem here on Veterans Day, where we honor all of our veterans and our heroes.
Fans exhibiting such behavior will be removed from the stadium. We ask that you please keep all aisles and walkways clear at all times, and please stay off the playing surface during and after tonight's game. Please help keep SUNY Brockport Stadium clean by utilizing the garbage cans throughout the stadium. If you have any questions or concerns during tonight's game, please see a member of their supervision staff. Section 5, Section 6 of New York State football thanks you for your cooperation in these matters, and we hope you all enjoy tonight's game. And now, ladies and gentlemen, will you all please rise? Please remove your hats. Face the flag as we honor America, the men and women fighting around the world for this great nation. For the playing of our national anthem.
What's
Are you ready for some football? I know we are. The fans are ready. They're out here in the cold supporting these young men. Lancaster High School, it's about a 2-hour drive coming here, maybe about an hour, I would say about an hour drive, maybe a little bit over that, coming from Lancaster to Brockport for Aquinas, not too far down the road, and they get a chance to get a victory and go to the state Final Four. The winner will go on to the state semis 1 week from tonight, and this week I should say, and then the winner of that game goes to the Carrier Dome in Syracuse for the state championship. This should be fun, Coach.
You know, getting here is hard, and everybody paid a price to be here, Sal. You wonder what goes through the minds of coaches right before kickoff, Sal. You know, these teams reflect their families, you know, and they want to see them do well over here, and you just hope everybody has a great game. And you know, credit to the kids for everything they've done to get to this point, and certainly the families too. How about the parents of these kids, you know?
You have been in games like this. You've been into playoff situations. You've been in one-and-done types of contests. There's really nothing more you can do once you step on the field for now, right? All the preparation is done. There's no going back, Coach.
You know, when you get to this point, we talked about this off camera maybe a couple of weeks ago too, Sal, is that you have to see a little, see a lot. If you see a lot, you see nothing. I mean, you just have to pay attention to little things, kind of focus yourself, and just drown out all the noise, and just kind of let your body take over. Turn the brain off. You know, let all the coaching take precedence here, because these coaches, you know, have pounded into these kids what's going to happen for the football game. All they got to do is just let their body take over.
The captains are at the middle of the field, and they will shake hands, and we will have the coin toss here for you. And just to give you an idea of how cold it is down there, a bunch of the Aquinas players right now are gathered around the small little heater. It's like a little, it looks like a little engine, a little jet engine. We'll get you a shot of that in a little while. There it is right there. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. But there it is. Take a look at all those maroon jerseys already trying to get warm for this one.
Can we bring one of those up here?
I would like that. I think it might be a fire hazard, but we would like to have that.
Yep.
Lancaster will be the road team on the scoreboard. They will be the road team as far as the sideline and their jersey color is concerned, and that means they will also call the coin toss here as we get things going in the Class AA final. You can see the maroon of Aquinas also with their backs to us here on the TV side of things. Looks like they have won the toss. Aquinas has. So, actually, sorry, Lancaster has won the toss, and they've elected to receive. Aquinas was saying which goal they wanted to defend. And they will go left to right here on your television set to begin this contest. There's a look at Joe Andreessen. He is a young man that really does so much for this team, and they really have some athletes who do some special things at Lancaster. But Lancaster probably hasn't faced a team like them this year that can really kind of match some of their speed out there.
The thing I mentioned to Coach Rupp and even to Coach Achino this week was that they are trial tested this season. The Section 5 AA division are just rough and tumble teams, and since that first week, that first loss against Victor, Sal, they have really increased their productivity, and by the way, they are getting players back and they're healthy.
For Aquinas, it will be number 20, Casey Hockheimer, who will step out to kick the ball. He is a 6'2", 210-pound senior. He also plays wide receiver on offense and free safety on defense. There's a look at the young men who are going to be returning the ball. It is Kyle Backert, number 21, and number 34, Andrew Hersey for the Lancaster Legends. The Class AA Regional Final, the winner goes to the state Final Four at Union Endicott in 1 week. From there, the road to the state championship. We are underway here at Brockport. Ball will sail down. Will be taken by one of the up men. Actually, that'll be Backert. Backert gets to the 25, out to the 26, and he's down at the 27-yard line of Lancaster. That's where the Legends will take over. And coming out for the Legends, Ryan Mansell, the quarterback, who will take his team and take over the reins. He's done such a great job this year for the Lancaster Legends on the season. You see his numbers there, 1,700, almost 1,800 yards passing, 18 touchdowns against only 3 interceptions, 70% completion rate. We did a game where he was 13 for 13 this year.
Yeah, very cerebral, doesn't make bad throws, just a a great quarterback for the Legends.
Very well coached team. They'll go right to the air here. It's Max Giordano. He'll take the bubble screen. He'll try to get around a defender. He can't reverse his field. Max Giordano. He's going to be taken down after a 2-yard loss. He ran 40 yards, but he wound up losing 2 on the play.
Yeah, look who took him down. T.J. Jones. We talked about him at the beginning.
Let's take a look at the offensive line. They'll be blocking for Lancaster. They have a bunch of guys up front, including the junior, David Gacka. Joe Andreessen, of course, is one of them. The skilled guys, we talked about Backert and Giordano already. Martin, Mira, and Hersey are the other players that will be touching the ball here tonight, predominantly for the Legends.
Kind of a filling out process here and see what works for the offense.
There's a give right up the gut, and right away, Lancaster off and running, and that was a big run by number 34, Andrew Hersey, the 5'6", 165-pound senior.
Find out what works early, Sal, and stay with it. Andrew Hersey does a great job running that football.
And he has to go against the bonus Waters, Ginn, and Robinson as far as the D-line is concerned. Jones, we talked about him a lot. TJ Scanlon and Montgomery, and on the back end, Connor Jones, Hockheimer, and Noble for Aquinas. Another big run by Hersey right here. He gets out to the right side, and he's banged out of bounds after another first down run.
You know, you talk about the classic, Sal, one-cut runner. If we can have this on replay, of course, they're running the no huddle here. Andrew just puts his foot in the ground and just gets north and south like nobody else, and you can see how many yards he gains after that first cut.
Coach Rupp doesn't want to give us a replay. He wants to go fast. That's what they want to do tonight. Lancaster already on the ball. They go trips to the left. Shotgun. It's Hersey again. Hersey getting to the right. Hersey with some room to run in another 6-yard gain on first down.
A little G or kick-out play to the weak side of the formation, and Hersey just, instead of coming inside the block, just bounced it outside. Took it to daylight and kicked on the afterburners here. Pretty nice opening series, Sal.
They're really featuring Andrew Hersey here to start this contest. They have a lot of guys they can give it to.
You know, look for Aquinas to put some pressure, Sal, because they always try to put blitz pressure on as they are right now.
Now they're going to give it to Andreessen, the big man, up the gut. He is stopped after no gain, so a good job by the Aquinas defense.
Maybe 1 run, 2 runs. The Little Irish would not like to have 3 runs against them for a long gain here, so put a stop to that by a little run blitz.
So a big third down here. It'll be third down and a long 2, maybe a short 3. Mansell looking for the play, gets back, set, gives it to Andreessen. Andreessen stopped. I think he got the first down, though. It looked like he got over the 15-yard line to about the 14, and yes, they're going to give it to him. So a first down and a new set of downs for the Legends. They're on the move.
Yeah, they even ran that play right into the teeth of the blitz. Trey Brown was coming off that side, and as Joe Andreessen does, finishes runs right there, just plowed right through the unblocked defender and got the first down.
Mansell, he'll throw. It's caught on the wide receiver screen. Looks like Giordano out there, and he's going to be tackled. The ball came loose. Aquinas says they have it. They do. A huge turnover on the first drive of the game. Lancaster was moving the ball. They were in scoring position, but they give it up, and the Little Irish have it.
It's got to be a little deflating for Max Giordano, but still a great opening drive for the Legends here. They can tell it just there's a lot of defenders that kind of met at the pass, so to speak, here, and that's taught right there.
He ripped it out.
Yeah.
Ripped it out.
It looks like Clark was there, I think.
I think Hockheimer was the one that ripped it out.
I'm sorry, right.
Let's take a look at John Clark here, the quarterback. He's thrown exactly 100 passes, completed 60. That's a nice completion percentage of 60%. 1,200 yards, 12 TDs against only 2 interceptions. We have 2 quarterbacks here who really do a good job of taking care of the football.
Yes, they do.
Unfortunately for Lancaster, they didn't take care of the football in that particular possession, giving it up already to Aquinas. But these are 2 quarterbacks that are very efficient. You're talking about high school QBs with 60 and 70% completion rates.
You know, Sal, that first penalty, too, was because of a procedure deal, because of what Aquinas does. And they have a lot of personnel changes going on. They get into a double wing formation, spread formations, a couple tight ends, as you see right here. They're a multi-formational football team.
5 guys with their hands on the ground, all in 4-point stances here for Lancaster. The give, not going to go anywhere. Lancaster's defense is right there to stop the runner. Let's see who it is. I think it's number 8 who gets up, who had the first carry of the game there, Shane Noble Jr. Let's take a look at the offensive line for the Little Irish. A couple of sophomores, Foster and McClellan, surround DeBonis and Encino and Todd. Mahar, Carter, McNair, Brown, and Robinson, a good mix of sophomores, juniors, and seniors at the skill positions. Yeah, too many men in the huddle. So Aquinas, you know, they get a ball and they get a turnover, but it seems like they're just a little bit out of sync on offense to start this.
And it's just all personnel, and I'm sure Coach Anacino doesn't like this at all, because you have to get the right people on the field to run the right play, and there's nothing more frustrated when the wrong personnel gets out there and you have 12 in a huddle. It happens in the pros, Sal. It happens in high school.
So the ball sits at the 2-yard line, and due to the penalty to start and then the loss on the next play on first down, it is 2nd down and 17 actually. Clock, hands it off. Again, not going anywhere because of that stingy Lancaster defense, which is led by the defensive line of Mazur, Rogowski, Chiaramonte, and Michalski. The linebacking core, this is maybe the best linebacking core in the state. Beto, Andreessen, Damiani, and Klima. And then on the back end, Beckert, Giordano, and Benham, some really good athletes.
If you saw the first line of defensive linemen, not very big in stature, but Sal, very quick and very mobile.
So clock now on 3rd down. He'll take to the air. Looks, he's gonna go deep. Clock has a man. It is overthrown just out of the outstretched arms of Kobe McNair.
Sal, Kobe McNair, I've seen catch some passes, and he really is a game breaker. Look for him to be a factor in this game. This was just slightly overthrown. Just watch this outside his fingertips. He is somebody that can really burn defense. It really doesn't matter who he's getting covered by. He is a game breaker.
Max Giordano had him there, but he had Max by a step, maybe even more than that. That was fortunate for Lancaster, unfortunate for Aquinas. They couldn't hook up because that was 6 points. Clock will go back to punt. He averages 43 yards a punt. That's a terrific average for a high school punter. High snap, he's able to corral it. Good pressure, but he gets it away. Bounces at the 31 and rests at the 32, where Aquinas will pick it up.
You know, that last series, credit the defense, not really having that turnover account for anything. And again, that's what's going on for Lancaster in Section 6, Sal. That defense has bailed people out in case something happens in terms of a turnover. You're secure.
So now Lancaster will come back out, and after the first drive stalled due to the turnover, they'll take over at the Aquinas 31-yard line.
Well, we saw Andrew Hersey have a break off a couple of nice runs. Maybe, who knows, maybe the same thing now.
Brett Beto lines up as the H-back in front of Mansell. Mansell gives it off to Hersey. Hersey, he falls forward. That's what I like about this kid. He's always falling forward, it seems like.
Yeah, don't ruin a good thing. Coach Rupp wants to keep going. It was leading touchdown maker and ball carrier.
Over 1,000 yards on the season. Andrew Hersey comes into this game with 1052 total. On only 160 carries, he's averaging 6.6 yards per attempt. They go to the wristband to look for the play. 4-down lineman for Aquinas. Andrew Hersey runs into the teeth of the defense, gains 1 before he's driven back.
A lot of leadership on that defensive line. Also, we'll get into a little bit later on in terms of that young man, Bones. He's been awesome. He has a brother that also plays with him. Just a stout team, Sal. One thing this Aquinas team has done is that they bend, but they didn't break. They didn't break in the last 2 sectional contests.
3rd down and 4. Man in motion is Giordano. They fake it. They give it to Hersey, and he's stopped for a loss. Andrew Hersey is stopped behind the line of scrimmage, and there he is once again. John DeBonis comes right up with the stop.
Yeah, terrific penetration here, too. When you have penetration in a zone play, I don't care if you're LaShawn McCoy, you're not going to make any yardage here, and it's difficult when they're in the backfield as they are. Take a look at this, Sal.
Joe DeBonis, excuse me, but makes a great stop there again.
Karan Robinson plays great defensive end and also on offense is a threat. A lot of two-way players for the Aquinas Little Ivers, too.
So Lancaster will go for it on 4th down. Why not? They're at the 25-yard line. Back to pass. Mansell has room, rolls, throws it, has a man. It's caught. Excellent catch, and falling out of bounds is the man who's going to play Division I baseball at Niagara University next year, Max Giordano.
Perfectly placed ball, a little down and out, about 12 yards or so. Well placed just over the under coverage.
The leading receiver for Lancaster, and by the way, one of the leading receivers in all of Western New York, Max Giordano. You won't find many better athletes in Western New York than Max Giordano, or a better tackle in this one so far by that man right there who just corralled the ball carrier. Just mentioned him, Karan Robinson, 5'10", 180, and he brought every bit of it there.
Now, you mentioned good athletes here. Ryan Mansell and Max Giordano were named top 10 Conley Cup finalists too, which is a feather in your cap too. Just today, I think.
Absolutely. Conley Cup given to the most outstanding player in Western New York high school football, Section 6. So now the snap coming on 2nd down. Look, throw. It is wrapped up, and a nice tackle made out there by the Aquinas defense. It swarms to the football. Boy, this Aquinas team is very fast on defense, especially at the first 2 levels.
They're terrific, too. You know, and the thing about their secondary is that they cover for each other. So you'll find they have great corners. We'll talk about number 8 and number 9 a little bit later on, but Connor Jr. on the, I believe he's on the left-hand side or left-hand side of the formation, right-hand. Defensively, he's one of the best cornerbacks in all of Rochester.
Aquinas no stranger to this round. They have a lot of experience here. And right now, they're looking to hold Lancaster down, but they can't because Max Giordano does what Max Giordano does. A terrific catch in the back of the end zone, gets 1 foot down, and we have our first score of this regional final.
Pretty nice throw here, Sal. It's just a little climb route. You'll see Giordano trying to get above the linebackers, outstretched hand, and I almost kind of think this is like threading the needle if you can get this on replay, maybe after the 2-point conversion.
I'm sure we'll see it again, but boy, talk about some trust and some faith in your wide receiver. They go swinging gate here. This is a little new. We didn't see this happen from Lancaster the first time we watched them play, Coach.
Yeah, all year long they've been trying to do that and see whether or not the defense comes out. If it conflicts with what they're doing, they'll come back and kick it.
It'll be Giordano who adds on the extra point after his own touchdown, and it's 7-0 Legends. So Max Giordano gets to the back of the end zone, goes up top to catch it. As you said, a climb up. He had to climb to get up there and get it. We'll see the touchdown here coming up in just a moment, but talk about some faith in your wide receiver. Ryan Mansell really has to have that to throw the ball that he did to Max Giordano.
Yeah, he's made some catches before in critical situations. You know, that was one that Ryan Mansell threaded the needle. It's one of those, it's not a 3-ball, not a 1-ball, it's a 2-ball. It's one that goes over the linebackers and just is inside the outstretched hand of maybe a defender, a safety. Well-placed ball.
There's a look at the drive. It went 7 plays, 31 yards after the punt. Giordano connects, 13-yard TD catch. And for Max Giordano to make up for the fumble, I'm sure it kind of puts his mind a little bit more at ease early on in this game. He's not on his mind what happened on the first drive.
Well, Max Giordano was a competitor. Like most of these athletes here on the field, they want to make up for something here, but they just have to do it in time, and he came up big in that drive.
This is a legendary program over here at Aquinas, at least, you know, in my recent memory that I know. They're always a power over here in Section 5, always a team that has to be contended with. And I think that if you are in Section 6, you know that if you want to really get to where you want to go, this is always the team, even weeks ahead of time, that you know you'll probably have to face.
No, collectively in Section 5, you're going to look at Aquinas as a team year in, year out, vying for the state title. And these kids know it.
Let's take a look at TJ Jones on the year. He has a huge kickoff return average of 88 yards. He's gone twice for 176, Coach. Sorry to interrupt you, but amazing there because he's already had 2 touchdowns on only 2 returns that he's touched the ball.
A couple of years ago, he was at Spencerport and had to sit out, Sal, his whole junior year to be on this Aquinas football team, and he's putting 2 years of play in 1 year.
There's the kickoff. There must have been a penalty. They kick it off from the 45, and it rolls in. I didn't see anything that was called, but apparently there must have been because they kicked off from the 45. It went out of bounds, and that's not what Coach Rupp wants because now it's going to be an advantage for Aquinas with the kickoff going out of bounds and a penalty against Lancaster.
Yeah, it's like a big little return here that you didn't really count on here, but obviously it's a kickoff strategy to keep it out of the hands of the aforementioned T.J. Jones.
Let's go back to what you were saying about T.J. Jones and tell us the story again. He had to sit out a year because the transfer rules, and he actually was willing to do that just to play for Aquinas.
Yeah, TJ is one of the athletes that started in Spencerport, as well as Zembic, the quarterback a couple of years ago, who, by the way, I believe is on Penn State's roster right now, so there's a quality athlete.
There you go.
But, yeah, TJ sat out his junior year and certainly, wanted to play as a senior, has his chance, and I'm telling you, he's, just watching film throughout the year, he is just a versatile athlete.
Well, they get to place the ball 25 yards from where it was kicked off after the out of bounds, and it was kicked off from the 45, so therefore it'll be at the 30-yard line where Aquinas will get their second possession to start. Clock goes into the shotgun. 4-3 defense for Lancaster. Clock looks, pumps, pulls it down, runs, gains about a yard before he's brought down.
Good pressure from Ben Mazer from the outside. Caused the quarterback to pull the ball down, Sal, and, it's just the defense covering up for each other. The defensive linemen kind of Xing back and forth. And again, not a very big defensive line, but mobile. Coach Mansell does a good job slanting them and bringing them into different gaps. They're a handful.
They go with a wing to the left. Flanker also split out wide. There's the snap, little pistol formation, and being wrapped up and being driven back is Karen Robinson. There is a flag on the play, however, at the 30-yard line here on the near side.
Unfortunately, when the running back doesn't go down, a lot of things are grabbed, and one of them could be a face mask.
It's exactly what the call is. It's going to go against Lancaster. They'll march the penalty off. It's only going to be a 5-yard penalty, so that will not give Aquinas a first down, but it will replay second down for them and obviously help out in that situation because now it'll be 2nd down and 6.
When you see that young man, well, right now he's not having a very good time running the football, but when that young man runs the ball, watch his acceleration after contact. It's amazing.
Clock. Hands it off. Nice run there on 2nd down, getting closer to first down yardage is Davon Choates. I'm sorry, T.J. Jones. T.J. Jones wearing number 5. Just talked about him. 6'1", 220. He's pretty stout and tough.
Two-way contributor and special teams also, as you said before, returns kicks. Wow. How about that?
Cicero North Syracuse 14, Elmira Southside 6. That one's at the end of the first quarter. Winner takes on the winner of this game here in the state semifinal next week. On 3rd down, run over the 40. That means it's enough for a first down, and Aquinas has their first down of the ball game.
Yeah, we saw that score about Elmira. Sal, I talked to you about that before. They started out 0-3 in their season. And now they're vying for the regionals.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is, because it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
That's right.
Elmira's perfect indication of that.
Well, they have a chance to get to the state Final Four with a victory tonight, just like one of these two teams will do. And right now, it's Lancaster up 7-0 on Aquinas, who shifts some players around. They yum the tight end from left to right. Clock looking, throws it, it's going to be almost intercepted, but batted away. That was a really tough pass. He threw it all the way across the field. And that man right there on your screen, number 22 for Lancaster, Bryce Benham, saw it all the way.
Bryce did a great job of anticipating the throw, Quarterback locked on the receiver, Sal, and just a tad too late. Bryce just came through and broke it up. And everybody in the sideline wishes that he took it in for a touchdown. But give the kid a break. That was a great charge on the ball, and credit him for the breakup.
Sometimes if you go for that pick six because it looks so fat in front of you, you wind up not getting it, and you do the right thing by putting your hands together and knocking it down.
Exactly.
So that's what he did. Now it's a 2nd down and 10 for the Irish. Here's to give to Jones. Jones finds a seam. Jones still on his feet. Jones gains 5 before the pile pushes him forward.
Very similar to what I mentioned about Karan taking that ball and making extra effort here. T.J. Jones, after contacts, you know, Sal, much like Andrew Hersey, they just finish their runs. They don't go down with one hit. It's just, you know, you call it yards after contact. Just watch this. Here it is, and now he continues just moving his feet and also securing the football because you know it can be ripped out.
He double clawed that one, put both hands on it, one top, one bottom. 1:20 left here in the first quarter. Aquinas on the move. Clock, the quarterback, pump fakes. He's going to throw a screen. Excellent play call, and a 1st down is gained by the Little Irish. That was a great play call. They just sent everybody deep in man coverage. The backs were turned by the defense, and they threw it underneath.
Yeah, it made almost like a little Oreo sandwich. You got the defensive linemen so far penetrated and the defensive backs, as you mentioned, in man coverage. But the linebackers, well, they saved the day. And look who's here, Joe Andreessen.
Right. But now they cross the 50-yard line, and Aquinas has something going on offense. 1:04 left here in the first quarter. They trail 7-0, and the backs are in an I formation. Clock gives it to the first man through. The fullback diving forward, and another 1st down run. Great job there by Ruben Torres. Torres comes into this year with 144 yards on just 21 carries, but he gains a big 13 yards right there.
Quick hitting trap play. Most people say, why run high school little fullback trap plays? Well, there it is. It's just so quick hitting. Before you know it, he's into the secondary and big yardage gain. And credit Tyson Foster for making a big trap block in that one.
See Coach Anacino right there, watching his troops move it down the field. Play action pass, throw, over the middle. Man is there, and it's incomplete, but there is a flag down.
I think there might have been a holding call here, Sal, but ball went downfield a little bit high.
A hold is going to go against the Irish, so that'll march them back 10 yards. These are 2 very well-coached teams. I suspect we won't get a ton of penalties tonight. You never know. They are kids. Things happen, but they're gonna play with good technique, and they're gonna be smart about how they go about it.
You know, typically those holding penalties happen on long plays, drawn out, long passing plays, or maybe some outside plays where the receiver, like what you played for Cleve Hill.
Hey.
When he wanted to
always giving me too much love. Thanks.
Grab hold of that defensive back. Sometimes those referees have nothing else better to do than to look at you. You know, so. Here we are.
23 seconds left in the quarter. They throw the swing pass, and getting free is Noble. Noble does a nice job to weave his way through traffic and get down to the 38-yard line of Lancaster. That should do it for the first quarter. The clock is winding down. Aquinas is on the move, but they trail 7-0. We are through 12 minutes of play here in the state quarterfinal. Got a long way to go. The winner goes on to next week in the state Final Four.
Imagine if you had the power to choose whatever weather you wanted. Sunny and warm? You got it. Lawn needs a little water? No problem. The thing is, it's not possible. With Weather on the Ones, we can't control the weather, but we can give you updates every 10 minutes. So you'll be prepared for whatever weather conditions come your way. Weather on the Ones. Only on Spectrum News.
No matter how perfect the weather may be, that can change in the blink of an eye. That's why Spectrum News has weather every 10 minutes. When you need the weather, we have the weather. Spectrum News, your 24-hour local news channel, has weather every 10 minutes on the ones. 1 after, 11 after, 21 after. You get it. Your next local forecast is just a few minutes away. Weather on the ones, only on Spectrum News.
I routinely get emails that say, you're too liberal or you're too conservative. I find that encouraging because it indicates to me that we're somewhere in the middle, which is what we're aiming for. And we have confidence that viewers have the capability of making their own decisions and taking in a whole wide range of information that we're hopefully providing to them, and then subsequently they can determine how they feel and what they want to do about it. And that's our goal, is to inform.
Capital Tonight, weekdays at 8 and 11:30 p.m. only on Spectrum News.
If you had a magic crystal ball, it would be easy to predict the weather. But magic crystal balls don't exist. Lucky for you, there's Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News. With Weather on the Ones, you get local weather updates every 10 minutes from any device. Mornings, afternoons, or evenings. Your forecast is always right around the corner. That's better than a crystal ball. Weather on the Ones, only on Spectrum News.
You are the best.
The rights to this broadcast have been granted by the New York Public High School Athletic Association, representing high schools in New York State. Any rebroadcast or republication of the programming without the written consent of the New York Public High School Athletic Association and Spectrum Sports is strictly prohibited. 12 minutes in the books. 7-0. Lancaster leads Aquinas. Sal Capaccio here with Len Jankowitz. And that first quarter went kind of according to script, except for the fumble, I think, on the Lancaster side of things. Both teams playing some pretty good defense, but coming up with a few big plays on offense. That's pretty much how they've lived life this year.
Yeah, two evenly matched teams, Sal. I mean, somebody's going to have to take a risk here to score a touchdown, and we'll see what happens here with Aquinas.
Aquinas drops back to pass. Clock finds his man. It's Jones, and he's chased down from behind.
Great linebacking plays you mentioned before, and that's what if you have penetration with the defensive line, those three linebackers we mentioned before for Lancaster do a heck of a job. Take a look at this right now. You have the linebackers not staying blocked, defensive linemen coming back here. Everybody's like a checks and balance kind of thing here, and Ben Damiani, Vito, and Andreessen do a heck of a job with each other.
That's the second middle screen we've seen from Aquinas, and I wonder if they want to try and use that Lancaster speed and aggression against them a little bit tonight.
I think you're right there.
There's Aquinas. Clock, looks, throws. He just overthrew the wide receiver. He had him, too. That's one that they got to hook up on. I think that they want to have that one back, but they can't, so that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, I'm sure he wishes he had that one back. He had him open. A little stop right on the outside. Zone coverage.
It was number 4, the intended target, James Jones. Jones on the year, 6 catches for 46 yards and 3 touchdowns. So a punt formation coming up here for Aquinas. Let's see if they boot it away. The ball does sit at the Lancaster 36, so I'm sure the Legends are looking for a possible fake. They won't get it. The ball is booted. Bounces at the 15. And it comes to rest there off the foot of off of the foot of John Clock, the quarterback, who's also the punter.
I'm kind of surprised, Sal, at this point during the game that Aquinas hasn't shown the double wing formation that they've done before, that they have worn out opponents with. And we'll get into that series because what's old is new again. Sometimes things come back in style again. And for Aquinas, the double wing formation has been very, very formidable.
So Lancaster with the lead and now with the football once again. Just inside their own 15-yard line. This is Ryan Mansell. You see him on your screen right there. Who's going to go to the air. Throws it deep. Has a man. Incomplete. Good coverage on the back end against Max Giordano. There were a couple different maroon jerseys in the area.
Shane Noble Jr. is on that side. We mentioned before about Connor Jr. being on the other side. But coming over the top, you can take a look at the free safety, climbing over the top and being there just in case the catch was made, but just out of his outstretched arms.
2nd and 10 for the Legends. They go to the wristband, get the call, and get set. 4-3 defensive alignment for Aquinas. Handoff. Great job by the Aquinas D-line to get in on that one. First in on the stop was 72. Frank Ginn. Now this is a young man, 6 foot 245, only a sophomore.
When they come through the 4 lineman formation, that's the young man that comes in there, and I'll tell you, he occupies space, but he's mobile too. He's got some good moving feet underneath him here, and he does a great job with the 4-man front. Good job.
So big third down here for Lancaster. They haven't moved the ball yet on this drive. They've gained 1 yard.
Here comes pressure, Sal.
Yeah, it looks like they're lining up to get after the quarterback, Mansell, who may be changing the play, actually, after he saw that.
Here they come.
They come right after Mansell. He escapes. He will not escape the second man in. He does get the ball off, but a great job by the Aquinas defense. Couldn't tell exactly who had him wrapped up there. Might have been Marcus Cox or Cam Gross. One of the two, I think, were in there. Let's see who that is right there.
The same guy
54,
again.
thank you very much. That is Joe DeBonis, who we talked about already here today.
Right.
So DeBonis does a great job to put some pressure on. He actually was the second wave of pressure on that play that wind up making Mansell basically throw it into the dirt. And a nice roll here on the punt for Lancaster, but Aquinas is going to come up with excellent field position. So the Little Irish do their job on defense, putting the pressure on Mansell. We don't see Ryan Mansell very often with 2 incompletions on the same 4-down set, but they did right there.
No, you mentioned the first wave of attackers too. Caron Robinson did a nice job forcing Ryan to pull the ball down, and Joe DeBonis did the rest, taking him down too. So it's not only edge pressure, Sal, but pressure from the inside, you know, that you mentioned before at the pro level is so important for passers to have, you know, a difficult time completing throws.
1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. Here's Aquinas. Lancaster packing the box here a little bit. They're expecting run, and they get it, and they do a great job of driving back the ball carrier. Lancaster was loaded up on the run in that one, Coach.
Yeah, 4-man down scheme, and if you're at home looking at how they're lined up, you can put your dining room tablecloth over 8 guys. They're really packed in there really tight. And Lancaster was just expecting some run in that one, and then that's what they got.
Now they'll spread it out just a bit. I formation, twins to the right. Lancaster backs a couple of linebackers up a little bit. Now they'll go into coverage because it's a pass, and clock is going to be taken down. A huge hit right there from Andreessen. He says he has the ball. Andreessen says he came up with the ball. The officials are actually discussing it. Let's see if they give him the ball. I don't think so. I think they're going to say that the quarterback was down. But Andreessen says that he took the ball away from clock as he was falling. Let's see. They're going to talk about it.
Yeah, Sal, the critical thing about this is that when Clock turned around, Andreessen just surprised him. It was more or less just a surprise hit. If we see this on the replay, take a look at this. His mind is there. As soon as he turns here, he didn't really expect that to be where it was. He could have stepped up a little bit, but Joe just took the right angle, and I don't know. I think he might have a little.
He might. I think the ball might have been coming out, Coach, but he didn't grab it until both players hit the ground, which is a tough call for the official without replay.
And anyway, it was a great play.
3rd and 20. They're going to run it here, try and make the safe play. It's not going to be very safe anyway because Joe Andreessen makes it that way.
Linebackers filling gaps. This has been the common scenario in Section 6. The linebackers are just filling gaps and just thwarting rushing attempts. Game in and game out. And there's the young man who's been doing it.
Boy, he came to play tonight, Joe Andreessen. He's made a few really big plays already in this contest.
Yeah, they come to play, sure. Now again, putting the ball away, but good series for the Legends defense.
So both teams coming up with big defensive stops on back-to-back drives, and a really nice punt right here by Clock that goes out of bounds at the 25. He flipped the field basically on that one.
It's time for the Little Irish defense to put forth their effort.
And they've done a nice job of that.
I think Coach Anacina was kind of complaining to the referees about some late contact after the kick, but to no avail. Well,
so
Sal,
we're
I'm sorry.
set to go here with first down here for Lancaster.
But how about this? A defensive football game here for a change.
It's something you and I talked about. It could happen because that's what these two teams do. They bring defense to the table, and they do it here again. A great job. Getting in on that one is number 16, Damon Montgomery, the 5'8", 170-pound junior.
Yeah, an outside linebacker does a good job. Damon's not a very big guy, but he doesn't have in size. He makes up in speed and agility. Coach really depends on him on the weak side of formation. Great play there by him.
Trips to the left for Lancaster. Let's see if Mansell goes to the air. It was a gain of 3, so it's 2nd and 7. Mansell looking for the play call. 5 on the play clock, down to 3, 2, 1, and that's going to cause a timeout. They took a long time to try and get that play in.
You know, it'll be interesting now, Sal, in terms of what the Legends try to do to advance the football.
Both these teams just really playing stout defense so far, and we knew they could play offense. We knew they could play defense. I think the question is when you get to a regional final like this, you know, which one of those things is going to really start to show up, because you could get a shootout, you can get a defensive struggle, and right now I think obviously we're getting the defensive struggle. Hey, this coming Wednesday on Spectrum News, Kevin Carroll and Sabre alum Andrew Peters break down the Sabres plays, players, and analysis on Chevy Silverado Hockey Tonight. You have 2 times to watch Wednesday night, 6:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. right here and only on Spectrum News. And speaking of the Sabres, currently, right now, 1-0 they lead the Montreal Canadiens playing up in Canada tonight.
Yeah, they heard that Montreal has some injuries, and that's probably the tonic that the Sabres needed to turn their season around. But getting back to this football game, Sal, you know, defense starts with stopping the run. If you notice in the last couple of drives, both defenses have kind of thwarted the run. And that's what makes your chest puff out a little bit and feel like, hey, we can do this, you know. And let's see what Aquinas does in the next series of downs.
Well, right now they have to deal with Lancaster, who has the ball. 2nd down and 7 for the Legends, who just used their first timeout. They took a while to get the play in, decided they wanted to take a little longer. They come out of it and run a screen. And this is Andrew Hersey. Hersey gets a block out front. Hersey runs into a wall of Maroon defenders, close to first down, however.
Good job of John Lapiano in his screenplay, trying to block the defender that did everything he could. But credit the Little Irish defense for pursuit. You know, all it is now, you know, throwing over that first line of defenders, and now where the block is. John Lapiano, great block.
And that is Merrick Connor Jr., who came up and did a great job on the edge.
Yeah, Merrick Connor Jr. now, Sal, is one of the better defensive backs in Rochester. He proved it right there in that play.
These defensive backs really come up well for Aquinas. They've been doing it here so far this evening against this Lancaster Legends offense. They put a deep safety back here, comes up and misses a tackle, but again, another big-time hit from a secondary player, not before a first down gain by Lancaster, but man, James Jones came up and laid the wood.
Now, if you want to play strong safety, play like James Jones did in that one. James Jones just led with his chest and wrapped up the defender. Watch this collision here. This is where you want it, right there, okay, and just wrap the legs and, you know, did your little hawk tackle. Nice job.
They have Casey Hockmeyer standing about 15 yards deep, playing a deep center field. Everybody else is up near the line. Hockmeyer here, however, can't get over in time to help out against Giordano, who has a first down. But it's an interesting strategy. Pretty much what they're doing is just playing a deep cover one, letting guys go man-to-man around the board, and everybody's playing a little bit up left time, and that time Giordano made them pay down the seam.
Yeah, when you play man-to-man, you can see a little pressure, and Giordano got inside the defender, and very elusive as he is, run after catch, but credit the defenders for rallying to the point. You know, Sal, you're looking for little advances here, not big plays here, just little advances that have to move the offense around.
There's Andrew Hersey. Man, I can hear the popping of those pads up here. These guys are hitting here tonight. That's a first down carry that goes about 2 yards. Now, I don't know if we'll get the same alignment, but we might. Let's take a look. If we can get a wide shot here, I want to show you where the safety is here. That's Hockenmeyer, who's playing really deep for Aquinas on the wide shot. He's playing all the way back. See, look at that. He's almost out of your screen is how far back he's playing, Coach.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some other combination coverage Coach Anticino uses here, but you're right. Hockenmeyer's out there as a last resort, as they say, for anything goes over the top.
And the other 10 are all within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Well, Andrew Hersey is credit for that.
That's right. No doubt about it. They're going to give it off to him again. And Hersey runs in to a couple of Aquinas defenders. He's tripped up, so I like Aquinas' strategy, but I think that now is the time maybe where Lancaster can take some gambles and go to Giordano, seeing this type of defense. But right now, they're selling out against the run against Lancaster.
Yeah, you have to. As I said before, you have to begin with stopping the run, Sal, because if you don't, it becomes demoralizing.
They've done a good job on this drive, and really going back to after the first drive or maybe 2 drives, they've done a really nice job against the Lancaster run.
You know, both linebacking crews from both sides are doing a real credible job of backing up the defensive line and making some great hits. Here they come.
Here's Hersey again. He's going to be spun down and brought down. That's why they're doing it. Another great play there by number 7, Karan Robinson.
You know, when you're making plays in the backfield like this, Sal, what's going on is that people are not staying blocked. They're just getting off blocks, getting in gaps, and making penetrating hits.
Well, now with it being 4th down, they're going to back up another safety. Play a little bit more of a too-high look here. Try not to give a first down away here to Lancaster, who needs 6 on this play to get it.
Still bringing some pressure.
Mansell, he's going to look and throw, and Giordano is there. Money Max makes another catch on a big play.
Well, I think Trey Brown had some pressure off the outside, great block, and it converted into a big first down catch. None other than Max Giordano on his patented out route, as they say.
Look, I think almost everybody in this stadium knew Max Giordano was the guy they were going to try and get the ball to, but there's only so much you can do to stop him. He's just a great route runner, and he just has everything you need, the height, the athleticism to go along with it. It's just tough to cover if you're a high school kid.
Yeah, look for him to make bigger plays tonight. Big players, big plays.
Here's a throw, caught, Backert. He is stopped at the 25-yard line. Nice play, nice hit to bring him down.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, because both teams can go no huddle and really go quicker here. Lancaster is kind of hesitant to do it. You know, they're valuing every down, every possession. You know, knowing that this game is every down makes it. It's almost like a Major League World Series game. Every pitch counts.
That's right. 2:40 left here. The clock is ticking before halftime. Lancaster trying to put another one on the board before they get to the half. They're up 7-0. It's not going to happen on this play because Karan Robinson is there to make sure that he just doesn't allow the Lancaster ball carrier to go anywhere. And I'm telling you, Karan Robinson is all over that defensive second field.
In all the film I saw this past week, he was doing exactly the same thing to any team that came his way. He's a terrific edge player right there. He refused to stay blocked, and then when he brings people down, he does it with emphasis.
Yeah, and how about that? I mean, that's really good technique. He wrapped up. He just kept his feet driving.
He doesn't stay block, Sale. That's so critical.
1 for 7 on 3rd down so far for Lancaster. They'll try and get their second conversion here with 1:52 left in the quarter. A whistle on the play, and we will have a timeout called by the Legends. Their second timeout here this half. There's a look at Eric Rupp in his second season as the Lancaster Legends head coach. And again, if you talk to him, you just you wouldn't even know that he's a head football coach. He's just so unassuming out there, but his players know who's in charge, and he's definitely a quiet leader who commands their respect.
Yeah, right now they're just trying to gather some information from the players too, because it's a two-way street. You know, it's communication. I'm sure he's trying to figure out and find out from the players, you know, what kind of leverage somebody might have on a receiver, or find out from maybe from an offensive lineman whether or not they can take a guy in a certain gap, you know. So it comes down to one-on-ones.
Hey, the Buffalo Bills take on the New Orleans Saints tomorrow. If you're looking for the latest news on the team, tune in to Spectrum News Blitz. Daily reports from John Scott, whether at home or on the road. Spectrum News is there with the latest. Watch Spectrum News Blitz. John and I also, after every game, recap the game. You can find that on Spectrum News online as well. So lots of stuff going on, and John Scott is all over it on Spectrum News, along with a great crew. Andy Young out there covering the team for Spectrum. They do a great job, and you got to tune in for that.
What do you think, Sal? 2-down territory here?
Absolutely. I think if they don't get it here, I think your goal here is to get 5 or 6 yards if you can to give yourself a manageable 4th down. But with Max Giordano down on the bottom of the screen, I'm sure they might go to him to try and get even more than that. And sure enough, they're going to do it. It's almost intercepted. It's incomplete. It wasn't actually intended for Giordano. It was intended for Nick Mira, but jumping in front of it was Trey Brown, and he almost had the ball secured in his hands when it went to the turf.
Trey Brown played excellent zone coverage. There was a route underneath him that influenced him, but he stayed behind and made sure he blocked out vision of the quarterback to the shallow post.
So it looks like they're going to go for their 3rd 4th down here of the evening. They've converted one of the first 2. Mansell, 4th down and 11. He's looking deep, throws, incomplete, threw it into double coverage over the top of the head of his intended receiver, Brian Martin.
Very good series of downs for the Little Irish on that one, Sal. Just great defense. And this is what they've done with their opponents the last couple of weeks. They bent, they didn't break, they covered well here over the top. Looking for Ben Martin on the top here, but well covered by both the safety and the cornerback.
Yeah, solid coverage right there on 4th down. Mansell really didn't have anywhere to throw it, so he tried to give his taller receiver, Brian Martin, who's 6'4", 200, a chance at it, but it didn't matter. Sailed it over the top. Aquinas holds again. I formation here on 1st down. Clock looking. Clock is going to be brought down once again. And it's Joe Andreessen again. Andreessen is unblockable right now on the Lancaster Legends defense.
Yeah, he's unblockable because they're overloading one side, and there just simply aren't enough human beings to block people. And take a look at this right now. There's more white jerseys coming over than our jerseys to block, and you don't want to see that guy unblocked to the quarterback, even if there is a blocker in front of him.
Well, and here's the other thing. With all due respect to Ruben Torres, who's a nice football player, he's also 5'8", 190, and he's back there responsible for Andreessen, who's charging like a Mack truck. That's just, and there's Torres actually who winds up having the false start. But, you know, Torres is a nice football player, but he can't be expected to go one-on-one and block Joe Andreessen.
Yeah, plus there's another guy in his face, too, so he didn't know which way to go. So indecision causes a lot of bit of non-confidence here. So, you know, credit the scheming of Coach Mansell for that one.
And that's right, you hear that name, Coach Mansell. Ryan Mansell's father is the defensive coordinator for the Lancaster Legends. And, you know, talking with him, and I know you know this, he'd rather not coach his son. He's on the other side of the ball. He wants everybody else to coach his son. It's a little easier sometimes. They tighten it up here, go double tights, in fact. Give the ball off. And breaking free and into the clear. And taken down to the ground is Robinson.
Sal, that run, he had to break at least 3 or 4 tackles. Incredible run, and they talked about his acceleration after one contact. Right there, he just broke away from an excellent linebacking core here, and at the defensive lineman stage, he is just an explosive runner. Look how he just gathers himself, finds some daylight, almost pops that ball out of his hands.
Ball came loose. It wasn't even touched. Came loose just for a second. He gathered it in, but the ball sits right at the midfield stripe now. 1st down and 10 for Aquinas. Only 39 seconds left. Clock goes back. This time they pick up the blitz. This time they go deep. Has a man. It's incomplete. They picked up the blitz. Andreessen was picked up as well off the edge. It was intended out there for Kobe McNair, but unable to connect.
He has separation speed here, but Max Giordano did a good job covering over the top, but that's the young man, Sal. Late in the football game, or whenever you least expect it, he'll break free. Colby McNair is a playmaker and a touchdown maker.
Well, they tried to get him the ball there. They tried to have him make a play. Incomplete. 2nd down. Ball at the 50-yard line. Clock. They're going to run a screen here again. This time it's batted. Nice job by the defense to get their hands up. There was some running room if it was complete, but that's the third time we've seen that screen thrown over the top of the onrushing defenders.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach drills it to the defensive lineman. A lot of times when you see the screen, you got to stop in your tracks and retrace your steps back over. But the ball was batted, as you said, Sal, so critical down again for the Little Irish.
3rd down and 10 at midfield. 27 seconds left. Clock looks, rolls right. Still looking, still rolling. He's going to take off himself, steps out of bounds. I don't think he gained much, if he gained anything at all. Yep, they're going to say 1 yard.
Well, now what do you do for Coach Anticino? Do you punt it away, or?
I think so. I mean, you don't want to give Lancaster one shot from midfield with Max Giordano out there who could really get behind the defense and out-jump some guys.
But boy, throughout the season, the Little Irish has surprised some people with their playmakers. They have plenty of guys that can catch the ball, and John Clark can thread the needle.
19 seconds left here before halftime. So Clock will step back. He'll be the punter. He's punted the ball 3 times here tonight already. This is his 4th. Lancaster came and they almost got it. That's inside the 20 and just outside the 15. So a nice punt there by Clock. And with 9 seconds left, Lancaster has a 7-0 lead and deep in their own territory. I'd suspect they just kind of sit on something here and take the air out of the football and go to halftime.
Yeah, credit John Growski for putting great pressure on the inside. He's done that many times. Just the pressure now came from inside the A-gaps here, and boy, John almost had one. Along with Ben Damiani, he seems to be there all the time in these punt blocks.
7-0 Lancaster leading Aquinas. 9 seconds left. We've had a well-played first half. Good defensive battle going here for the Class AA Far West Regional title.
Sal, you said defensive battle. How's that sound?
Yeah, amazing, right? I've loved it, though. I think this has been good football here tonight.
Yeah, that's great. I don't know whether or not it kept people warm in their seat, but certainly it's keeping us warm up here.
Absolutely. Well coached, I think well played for the most part, you know, and kids are just playing hard out there, and they're going to play hard till halftime here because that's where we're going to take it. Clock winds down. We are through with 24 minutes, and it is a 7-0 Lancaster Legends lead at the half. They are 24 minutes away from getting to the state Final Four, but Aquinas is right there, only trailing by a touchdown. We'll take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll tell you about what else happened throughout yesterday and today in the Far West Regionals here at SUNY Brockport. Sal Capaccio with Len Jankowicz. You're watching high school football in the Road to the Dome on Spectrum News.
Imagine if you had the power to choose whatever weather you wanted. Sunny and warm? You got it. Lawn needs a little water? No problem. The thing is, it's not possible. With Weather on the Ones, we can't control the weather, but we can give you updates every 10 minutes. So you'll be prepared for whatever weather conditions come your way. Weather on the Ones, only on Spectrum News.
No matter how perfect the weather may be, that can change in the blink of an eye. That's why Spectrum News has weather every 10 minutes. When you need the weather, we have the weather. Spectrum News, your 24-hour local news channel, has weather every 10 minutes on the ones. 1 after, 11 after, 21 after. You get it. Your next local forecast is just a few minutes away. Weather on the ones, only on Spectrum News.
I routinely get emails that say, you're too liberal or you're too conservative. I find that encouraging because it indicates to me that we're somewhere in the middle, which is what we're aiming for. And we have confidence that viewers have the capability of making their own decisions and taking in a whole wide range of information that we're hopefully providing to them, and then subsequently they can determine how they feel and what they want to do about it. And that's our goal, is to inform.
Capital Tonight, weekdays at 8 and 11:30 p.m. only on Spectrum News.
If you had a magic crystal ball,
It would be easy to predict the weather.
But magic crystal balls don't exist? Lucky for you, there's Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News. With Weather on the Ones, you get local weather updates every 10 minutes from any device. Mornings, afternoons, or evenings. Your forecast is always right around the corner. That's better than a crystal ball. Weather on the Ones, only on Spectrum News.
Seven 0 Lancaster leads Aquinas here on the campus of SUNY Brockport. Sal Capaccio with Len Jankowitz. It was a nice first half. It was a well-played first half. Not a lot of scoring, of course, as you can see. Only 7-0 Lancaster in the lead, and still a lot of football to be played. We've already played a lot of football here this weekend. It started with the Class D game between Maple Grove and Clyde Savannah. Let's take a look at our Far West Regional update and start right there from last night. The first game played on this field yesterday evening started off with Clyde Savannah getting on the board first. It was Austin Diver who wound up connecting and getting a touchdown pass for a 6-0 lead. We'll show that to you here, but Clyde Savannah and Maple Grove went at it yesterday, and as soon as we get a chance, we'll show you all that. And West Seneca West also against Wilson. So when we get all that straightened out, but here's the winners from yesterday. They were Maple Grove in Class D and West Seneca West in Class A, as they wound up beating Wilson. Maple Grove, no stranger to getting to this round and beyond, but for West Seneca West, coach, their first time they've ever been there.
Yeah, West Seneca West has been just the juggernaut in these last couple of games, and who's been leading the juggernaut push is Matt Myers. What a monster game he had. 400 and some, I think it's 420 some yards total offense. Just a tremendous athlete. It really has taken his team to another level.
Well, we'll talk about him in a second. We'll show you that, but now we have the Maple Grove highlights queued up, so let's take you to that. Them against Clyde Savannah, and this is Austin Diver, who got things going with a 6-0 lead on a nice pitch and catch there against Maple Grove. After that, it was Nash Nelson, his first of 4 touchdowns on the evening. That made the score 6-6. We showed you the first touchdown. Here's the second one from Nelson. He goes around the left, has an escort into the end zone, gets into the end zone, and from there, they have a 2-point conversion coming up from Nick Fabrizio. Fabrizio on the exact same play, it looked like, gets into the end zone to make it 14-6. Maple Grove adds another one. This is Easton Tanner, who takes it in from 15 yards out. That, along with this 2-point conversion again from Nick Fabrizio, makes it 22-6. And it looked like Maple Grove was rolling, but not so fast, says Clyde Savannah. Derek Chance, watch this hookup. Grabs it over the shoulder, takes it all the way to the house for a touchdown, and that made the score 20-14. And then Camden Chance added on the 2-point conversion. Nice catch right there as he runs a good route and secures the ball. As you see the snow on the ground, the cold, the weather, the breath you could see from the guys falling out there. And this is, once again, Nash Nelson breaking tackles, getting down the left sideline into the end zone, and Tage Jones gets into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. After that, at halftime, that made it 30-14 Maple Grove.
Yeah, a little bit of gadget stuff, upside down option, all running plays, 61 points. How about that, Sal?
And this is another one right here. This is Nash Nelson again getting in, and that's followed up by Carson Christ. Watch this catch here for the 2-point conversion. Tippy toes on the sidelines and gets it down for a 38-14 Maple Grove lead. They were not finished from there. Nick Fabrizio once again puts the ball in his left hand, gets to the pylon, and actually has to just steps in a little bit before he gets to the sideline. Fabrizio on his own touchdown gets a 2-point conversion on a very similar looking play, and that one is the one that gets to the pylon. That's 46-14. And then Clyde Savannah, they go back to Austin Diver, who started the scoring. This is a young man who's had a tremendous year catching the football, and it was on display yesterday in this game. Unfortunately, just a little bit too late for Clyde Savannah. He catches that one, and then he catches his own 2-point conversion to make it 46-22. Maple Grove comes back with one final touchdown on the evening, and this is going to be in the fourth quarter. It's Nick Fabrizio taking it in one more time, and then the two-point conversion from Tanner makes it 54-22, and Maple Grove goes on to win the Class D Far West Regional and advance to the state Final Four, 61-28.
It's an amazing score. Coach Fisher likes to spread them out, but here you're spreading them out and running the football.
Here's the final two-point conversion. So next week, Maple Grove will have a chance to get to the Carrier Dome. They've been there before. They've won a state title, actually, in their school's history. West Seneca West has never been to this round. They were here last night, and they're led by that man with the ball. That is Matt Myers. He's going to be going to the University of Buffalo to play quarterback, but he dumps this one down to Ryan Ball to get things going. Ball runs it in after that catch for a 7-0 lead after the extra point was good. This is Justin Johnson from Matt Myers. Johnson wide open in the back of the end zone. That made it 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. Ricky Gamble comes back for Wilson Magnet School out here in Section 5. Makes a nice catch between two defenders, and as the snow is falling down all around him, he gets in.
You know, Wilson had a great game against Irondequoit as a sectional champ, and this is what they did. This is what they do. They just run the football with authority.
And you saw the two-point conversion there, but then it was Matt Myers taking things into his own hands and his own feet this time as he gets into the end zone to make it a 27-8 ball game. That was actually 21-8. And then in the third quarter, Myers again, this time he tucks it down. He runs to make it 27-8. That's the kind of athlete he is. He can do things like this, not only throw the ball.
Well, UB is looking at that guy. They might want to put him in wideout if he can run that quick.
Absolutely.
Amazing
Matt Myers
speed.
has committed to the University at Buffalo, at least verbally committed. The second half continues with Dejan Rash getting in for Wilson Magnet. Now this cut the lead to 27-14, but back comes West Seneca West and Kyle Haddock catching it down the sideline, taking it all the way from there. I really like this kid when we saw him last week at New Era Field. He does so much on both offense and defense, and right there, he made it 33-14. Back comes Wilson Magnet. This is going to be Desi Floyd Jr. who gets it in, and then Dejan Rash with a dash with a two-point conversion, 33-22. But really, West Seneca West seemed like they were in control of this one from start to finish.
And again, it's just the opportunistic defense of West to really stop them at the right time.
John Spire rounds out the scoring to make it 40-22. The Indians win that one and advance on to the state Final Four. That's how last night ended. Then we get here today. Section 6 was 2-0 over Section 5 on Friday. Could it continue with Cleveland Hill coming out of Cheektowaga over in Section 6? They start the scoring here with Aaron Waller, who is a Connolly Cup finalist over in Western New York. He gets into the end zone, and then the quarterback Jackson passes it to Majorowski, who connects for a two-point conversion, and Cleve Hill has an 8-0 lead. But back comes Cal Mum. This is Anthony May, 65 yards to pay dirt, but they tried the two-point conversion kick. It was no good, and Cleveland Hill goes to the second quarter with an 8-6 lead. From there, it's Javon Thomas, a 50-yard run. He bounces off defenders, gets into the clear, and that speed of Cleveland Hill showing up right there against Cal Mum. Aaron Waller, speaking of speed, he's the one that's going to take this two-point conversion in for Cleveland Hill, and they are now on top after that by a score of 16-6. Then it's Cal Mum. They come back for a couple of scores. Before the first half is out, it's Lucas Stuckio, a 48-yard pass. He breaks a tackle, gets into the end zone, and pulls Cal Mum within 16-13 after the kick is good. Then in the third quarter, Bryce Yackel gets into the end zone. Another conversion makes it 20-16. This is important. It's 20-16 at the end of the third quarter. Cleveland Hill is down 4, but because of all that speed, starting with this man, Aaron Waller, they're able to climb back in a hurry, and it's 22-20 after this two-point conversion goes after the touchdown.
If it isn't Aaron Waller, it's Majorowski. If it's not Majorowski, it's Thomas.
And this is Thomas right here. He gets down the sidelines, into the end zone, and the touchdown right there for Cleveland Hill. That made it 30-20 after this two-point conversion. And then how about this last touchdown by Cleveland Hill, a 91-yard touchdown. Majorowski last week had a 99-yard score at the stadium, and then it's Waller going from 91 yards out here in the Far West Regional to shut the door on Cal Mum and make it 38-20. Cleveland Hill advances. Glenn Graham, I did the math. 103-35 in 14 years as the Cleveland Hill head coach.
Great record.
And there he is right there. He's getting the Gatorade bath.
I feel cold just watching that.
Yeah, make sure you keep him warm, okay, guys? Keep him warm. You need him for next week. He's very well respected in that Cleveland Hill community, and so he should be. Then it was Cheektowaga. Speaking of where Cleveland Hill came from, the Cheektowaga Central Warriors taking on Hornell. Really, Hornell, a team that's been a force in Section 5 and the state for many years, but they're down in a hurry here because it's Jaquan Bush who has the first touchdown, and then Keyshawn Beal, who threw that to him, winds up getting into the end zone on his own and then throwing it to Bush for the two-point conversion. And in the blink of an eye, it's 14-0 Central. They just punched him in the mouth to start the game.
Yeah, a lot of intricate backfield work here that turned into a touchdown. You know, credit to Warriors for being a little fancy in the goal line, but putting it in the end zone.
No scoring until the fourth quarter. I spoke with assistant coach Ishmael Mayer for the Hornell team, who told me they just couldn't match their speed. They had a lot of trouble with it, and you see it on display here from Keyshawn Beal, 21-0 after that touchdown run. And then it's going to be Tommy Zolnowski right here from Beal. Beal throws a great ball here, just leads Zolnowski out in front. Zolnowski makes one move and takes it the rest of the way into the end zone to make it 28-0. Hornell, they didn't want to get shut out. They weren't. Josh Stiles winds up getting on the board for them to make it 28-6, and that's how this ball game ended. So it's 4-for-4, Section 6 over Section 5, and right now Aquinas trying to turn that tide here in this one, but you see Cheektowaga there going on to the state Final Four for the first time.
Yeah, it's
We're going to take a timeout here, and when we come back, we'll talk about this game, Coach, because Lancaster has a 7-0 lead over Aquinas in the Far West Regional on Spectrum News.
Imagine if you had the power to choose whatever weather you wanted. Sunny and warm? You got it. Lawn needs a little water? No problem. The thing is, it's not possible. With Weather on the Ones, we can't control the weather, but we can give you updates every 10 minutes. So you'll be prepared for whatever weather conditions come your way. Weather on the Ones, only on Spectrum News.
No matter how perfect the weather may be, that can change in the blink of an eye. That's why Spectrum News has weather every 10 minutes. When you need the weather, we have the weather. Spectrum News, your 24-hour local news channel, has weather every 10 minutes on the ones. 1 after, 11 after, 21 after. You get it. Your next local forecast is just a few minutes away. Weather on the ones, only on Spectrum News.
I routinely get emails that say, you're too liberal or you're too conservative. I find that encouraging because it indicates to me that we're somewhere in the middle, which is what we're aiming for. And we have confidence that viewers have the capability of making their own decisions and taking in a whole wide range of information that we're hopefully providing to them, and then subsequently they can determine how they feel and what they want to do about it. That's our goal, is to inform.
Capital Tonight, weekdays at 8 and 11:30 p.m. only on Spectrum News.
If you had a magic crystal ball, it would be easy to predict the weather. But magic crystal balls don't exist. Lucky for you, there's Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News. With Weather on the Ones, you get local weather updates every 10 minutes from any device. Mornings, afternoons, or evenings. Your forecast is always right around the corner. That's better than a crystal ball. Weather on the Ones, only on Spectrum News.
Seven 0. The Legends of Lancaster lead the Little Irish of Aquinas here in the Far West Regional Final. Let's take a look at our lone touchdown of that first half. It came from a pass. This is Ryan Mansell finding Max Giordano in the back of the end zone. And Giordano is such a terrific athlete. He just climbs the ladder, catches the ball, gets that 1 foot down. I think he even got 2, but you only need 1 foot down in the end zone, high school football, and he did that. And that gave Lancaster the 6-0 lead. Giordano, the kicker, kicks his own extra point. Our halftime stats are brought to you by Monroe Muffler and Brake. Don't let car trouble stand in your way. Monroe, stay on the road. We talked about how this was a defensive game in the first half, and we saw that. You see the average starting field position. Both teams have had a long way to go, and you see only 150 total yards for Lancaster against only 87 for Aquinas. So that's where we are right now. It's only 7-0. Still 24 minutes to play here, and we're going to have the second half for you in the Far West Regional when we return on Spectrum News.
Imagine if you had the power to choose whatever weather you wanted. Sunny and warm? You got it. Lawn needs a little water? No problem. The thing is, it's not possible. With Weather on the Ones, we can't control the weather, but we can give you updates every 10 minutes. So you'll be prepared for whatever weather conditions come your way. Weather on the Ones, only on Spectrum News.
No matter how perfect the weather may be, that can change in the blink of an eye. That's why Spectrum News has weather every 10 minutes. When you need the weather, we have the weather. Spectrum News, your 24-hour local news channel, has weather every 10 minutes on the ones. 1 after, 11 after, 21 after. You get it. Your next local forecast is just a few minutes away. Weather on the ones, only on Spectrum News.
I routinely get emails that say, you're too liberal or you're too conservative. I find that encouraging because it indicates to me that we're somewhere in the middle, which is what we're aiming for. And we have confidence that viewers have the capability of making their own decisions and taking in a whole wide range of information that we're hopefully providing to them, and then subsequently they can determine how they feel and what they want to do about it. That's our goal, is to inform.
Capital Tonight, weekdays at 8 and 11:30 p.m. only on Spectrum News.
If you had a magic crystal ball, it would be easy to predict the weather. But magic crystal balls don't exist. Lucky for you, there's Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News. With Weather on the Ones, you get local weather updates every 10 minutes from any device. Mornings, afternoons, or evenings. Your forecast is always right around the corner. That's better than a crystal ball. Weather on the Ones, only on Spectrum News.
Friday Night Matchup on Spectrum News is brought to you in part by Monroe Muffler Brake. Don't let car trouble stand in your way. Monroe, stay on the road.
Seven 0 Lancaster leading Aquinas. Sal Capaccio along with the coach, Len Jankowitz. A good first half. Not a lot of scoring, but it was well played. I thought it was well coached, well officiated, and we have a good second half, I think, on tap, and an Aquinas team that has been in this position before and really come out on top anyway.
Yeah, and I'm sure at halftime, Coach Anacino just told those kids, look, we've been here before. Just play with great effort, great toughness. Things will come our way, but mostly he has to make sure that those kids play smart because they weren't penalized a bit more than the Legends were in the first half. You know, you can't outfight penalties, Sal. You got to stay away from the yellow flag syndrome here. So let's see what happens in the second half. A great defensive battle.
You see right there Derek Anacino getting his troops ready for the start of the second half. They trail 7-0. Lancaster will kick off to Aquinas to begin the second half. It'll be Max Giordano, who had the lone touchdown and the lone extra point, who will tee this one up from the 40-yard line. Back deep is Karan Robinson and TJ Jones. This one's going to be fielded by Jones. And Jones is going to be knocked hard down to the ground. I'm sorry, that is actually Robinson. It was Karan Robinson who grabbed it, and he is going to be knocked down at the, say, 28-yard line, they'll call it.
Yeah, a little pooch kick just offers a chance for the defense to get down there quick, and no chance for the return.
Let's take a look at the drive starts and the result of those. Not that great for Aquinas in the first half. They haven't had great field position, but they've had to punt on all 4 of their first half drives.
Yeah, this opening drive really sets the tone for the second half. Just anxious to see what the Little Airs have planned.
They go to the shotgun to start this first down in this series. Man in motion right to left, but they'll give it out of the pistol formation. This is Jones, or Karan Robinson, excuse me, again, trying to squirt free. He can't. Good job there by the Legends defense to hold on. But Robinson was just churning and churning those legs, and it really took a good group effort led by Rogowski, number 8 in white.
Got to be careful about those prolonged runs, Sal, because you know what happens a lot of times when you're twisting and turning, the ball might be pried loose, and that's just what they don't want to have happen.
Twins to the left and to the right. But one of the receivers to the right is very tight to the formation here on the near side. Clock's going to throw. Has a man. It's caught into the open field, and running free and getting a first down is Casey Hockmeyer.
There's your Swiss Army knife of the Aquinas Little Irish. That guy is on everything here, and he comes up with big plays here. A little shallow crossing route.
He beat Giordano to the spot and then was able to gain a few yards after that.
Lowers his shoulder for extra yardage. First down.
Fresh set of downs here for the Little Irish. Ball sits right at the 41-yard line. They trail 7-0. This is Robinson. Robinson, nice move to cut inside. Didn't look like much, but he wound up gaining 4. That's a nice carry.
Yeah, great run, but I'm just anxious to see whether or not they might get into that double wing formation. Maybe they might do it now. I don't know, because the double wing formation, we'll explain it to the people watching. It's really consolidated formation, and then not quite yet, but I'm sure they're going to unveil it pretty soon because they are productive with that formation.
59 yards rushing for Robinson so far on the evening. Jones in motion. He's the only split end here, but they give it off to Jones. It was McNair in motion, but Jones with the ball. McNair was the one on the outside there, but Jones is the ball carrier, and he doesn't go very far. He gains about 2 yards. So it'll be 3rd down and 3.
Ruben Torres comes back into the backfield for the Little Irish, fullback position. Let's see what they are playing here.
And now it looks like...
Here we go. No, not there they are. This is the double wing formation, Sal. This is something old that gotten new for the Little Irish.
And something new. They also have a new quarterback in the game. It's Jonathan Perinello, and you said to me before the game that you knew that Perinello was going to take some snaps here. I know you watched this team practice this week. When do they like to use him? You see him right there wearing number 10 in maroon, but he does play.
Yeah, he's a tough quarterback. What he likes to do, it looks like they're going to stay with the same formation. And what this is, Sal, too, is that it's just a combination of 4 different plays. It's a double wing toss, sweep, trap, but this is where these guys accelerate here. Big 4th down play, Sal.
Let's see what they do on 4th down. They go back to the double wing. It's Perinello trying to go forward. He's not going to get it. They stop him right at the midfield stripe. The Legends have held on 4th down, it appears.
Yeah, this is the wedge play, the double wing formation people are famous for, but it looks like
well, they did give him a bit better of a spot than I thought, but I still think it's going to be short. We'll take a look here. They're going to measure. It is a bit further up than what I thought originally when they stopped him, but I still think it's going to be a little bit short here. Chains will come out, and let's check it out.
I think you might be right, Sal, just by maybe 3 or 4 inches.
Going to stretch it out. 4th down, and it's going to go 1st down the other way. Lancaster holds.
Huge stop, certainly right at midfield. You know, the extra possession at half, you can see where the drive starts were now too for Lancaster.
A fumble, a TD, a punt, and a turnover on downs now for the Lancaster, but they do have a chance here in the second half to build on their 7-0 lead thanks to great field position right at midfield. That is Andreessen who gets the ball, and he's going to be tripped up and flipped over just over the midfield stripe.
This is the Legends form of the Wildcat, Sal, where the person who played offensive tackle now takes the ball into the backfield and wrecks havoc whoever's in front of him, but got tripped up for a minimal gain. Same formation. 2nd
down and 9. This is Andreessen taking the handoff, and the big fullback turned quarterback, turned everything for Lancaster, rumbles free.
Yeah, that kind of run can wear you down, and certainly the defensive end and that side kind of felt it. You take a look at this run right here. Inside, the bonus takes inside. And now there's a lot of arm tackles and people jumping on top of him rather than trying to cut him from underneath. There's a big young man coming through that line of scrimmage.
We told you, and we've seen him do this. I mean, Andreessen just does everything for this team. And you never know when they're going to decide to use him. They used him in the first series and hadn't gone back to him until just now.
Yeah, it's very similar to the double wing formation that the Aquinas team uses. This is their version of it.
There's a give to Hersey. Now, Hersey was the main ball carrier in the first half for Lancaster. We haven't heard much from him here in the second half, but he does have 74 yards on 16 carries here this evening.
Yeah, a lot of those 74 yards, Sal, were on those first 3 runs that he had.
Yep. So it'll be second down now and 6.
It's almost like 2 heavyweight fighters trading punches and counter-punching each other.
Andreessen, he ran the read option and he gets free. And the big man is rumbling. Down to the 20, down to the 15. They can't get him down. He's down inside the 15 and close to the 10.
You know, it looked like your uncle run with the football at a picnic. You know, everybody's trying to wrestle that ball away from him. That's what Joe Andreessen does. He chose to keep the ball, follow that offensive line blocking, take it off tackle, and the rest is Joe Andreessen.
You saw a couple defenders there, Karan Robinson and Damon Montgomery, both basically collide as they went to the running back. So, you know, I think maybe the most impressive part of that play for me was Joe Andreessen taking it out of the stomach of the running back and taking it himself on the read option.
Yeah, it's more will than anything else.
Right.
He just wants to do it, and I think when you have will like that and yardage gain, you say, do what you do, Joe.
So Lancaster knocking on the door, already with a 7-0 lead here over Aquinas. Ball at the 14-yard line. This is Andreessen again, and this time he's going to be brought down. Nice play there by the Aquinas defense. First in on the stop once again is DeBonis, who limps off the field. That would be a huge loss if DeBonis is hurt for any length of time. They rely on him a lot on defense.
Yeah, the little Irish brought a lot of pressure off the edge. Yeah. You take a look at the pressure over here. Montgomery coming off the edge, missed a tackle.
I think DeBonis got some friendly fire there from James Jones. Andreessen back in at quarterback, calling the signals. Read option again, he'll take it again, but this time they wrap him up and bring him down. Great job in there, getting up and puffing his chest out as James Waters, the 6'1", 250-pound junior.
Yeah, quarterback, power play, you know, trying to get in front of his, or trying to get behind his lineman over here, but we had penetration from the little Irish, starting right there, hand on hip. And T.J. Jones finishes him up, as he usually does. Again, the defense that we talked about, Sal, you know, the bendability of this defense, we're not breaking.
That's what Aquinas has done so far here tonight, and they're trying to do it again, making Lancaster work down here near the end zone, 3rd down and 12. Mansell back in, he throws, and it's incomplete. Mansell was under a little bit of pressure there, but he really didn't have much room to squeeze it in to his intended target, Martin, so he threw it a little bit on the outside and was incomplete on the sideline, and they're going to go for a field goal here. This will be a 33-yard attempt. Now they're going to move it up, put the block 1 yard closer. It'll be a 32-yard attempt for Max Giordano, number 14. The holder is the quarterback, Mansell. Giordano, his kick is up, has plenty of distance, and it is no good as he kept it wide to the left. It hooked wide to the left. Giordano, I think, thinks it went in. He's actually arguing that the ball went in between the uprights.
And that's why there's 2 officials underneath both posts, and
that's what it is. Thank you. They're telling me in the truck he was hitting. He's arguing roughing the kicker. Let's see. There it is. Thanks a lot, guys. Good shot right there. He's arguing for roughing the kicker, but that's a good no call.
Yeah, he held up.
He held up.
Yeah.
He wasn't in danger.
I'm sure Max will get hit a lot harder tonight.
Max hits me a lot harder. That was Maryland Connor Jr., by the way, put that pressure on. So now Aquinas gets the ball back, and boy, they've been in some predicaments here on defense. They've gotten out of it. Speaking of getting out of it, Karan Robinson getting out of several tackles.
This is what they've done. You know, I mentioned before about Victor and Pittsford facing Aquinas earlier this year. This is what happened. They just took the blows and just counterpunched with their own offense and had big plays, either by run or by pass.
So Aquinas now with under 5 minutes to play here. This third quarter is flying by, Coach. I mean, it's still 7-0 here, and it feels like we just started the second half.
Yeah, so when you run the football, clock doesn't stop, and that's what these two teams are doing.
So it's now Aquinas down 7-0, looking, clock, gonna be swarmed under by a bunch of white jerseys. His helmet is ripped off as he's thrown backward. The coach wants a penalty. The fans want a penalty here at Brockport. They're not going to get it. Lots of boos raining down here at the stadium. And you see Clock, he's really upset.
Yeah, I kind of feel, too, that, Sal, when it gets to the point where there's exaggerated runs, the whistle has to stop. And of course, the referees have to stop the play. But
that young man is not happy.
No. You take a look at it right now, maybe the whistle should have been blown right here, and then maybe something would have happened, but whistle came late and it seemed to just pop off his head.
Yeah, they didn't rip the helmet off, but you're right, maybe the whistle should have been blown earlier right because they allowed the quarterback to kind of get roughed up a little bit there by not blowing the whistle. So let's see what Aquinas dials up here on 3rd down and 13.
Credit Jake Mahalski for getting in there. Defensive line's done a pretty good job on both sides of the football for both teams.
Snap. Throw. Down the middle of the field. A man is there, but it's almost intercepted. The quarterback who came in was Perinello, who wound up throwing the ball down the field, trying to connect with Hockemer, but Hockemer was unable to come up with it because the closest man to it was Max Giordano.
Yeah, you know, Max just came off one receiver and then just saw the ball in flight, came over. Hockheimer was the intended receiver here, and Perinello just wanted to float it up there.
I can't tell the viewers enough who are just, for the first time ever watching Lancaster, how good of an athlete Max Giordano is. He can do so much in so many ways, and right here he's back to return the punt. He's not going to get an opportunity, but on that play, what you just said is right. That wasn't even his area. He had to come off his area to go to the ball. He almost had an interception there, but he does so much for this Lancaster team. And now we have a penalty flag on the play, and I think we may have a roughing the punter call here, or at least running into. Looks like it's a 5-yard variety by the way that the white hat is talking to the sidelines.
Right, I think it's not an automatic first down. But getting back to Max, you know what makes him the athlete he is, Sal, is his confidence level. And that's something that you don't have a price tag on, or you can't buy at a store. You know, it's just that he has that confidence that at any given moment, give me the football, I'll make a play.
Well, if he gets the ball in his hands, he always has the ability to make something happen. And right now he stands at the 40-yard line. He might get another opportunity here. Max Giordano wearing number 14 in white for Lancaster. Let's see what Clock does with this football on the punt first.
Looks like the pressure is not coming. They're going to try to do a return here.
And here comes Max. He's going to get an opportunity at the 45-yard line. He's trying to get out to midfield. Giordano, there he goes. Max Giordano, we just talked about it. He's in the clear again, but a flag comes in the center of the field.
Yeah, there's a flag, and I think an inadvertent flag in terms of a block in the back. And, yeah, this is coming back. It was a wall return. On the replay, you'll probably see it. The two people involved were probably at about the 40-yard line. So this is going to come back quite a ways, so.
So Lancaster.
And of course, the person says, I didn't do it.
Right, exactly. So Lancaster now will be marched back after that long run on the return.
Our head referee needs a football.
Eric Rupp, the head coach of Lancaster, wants to settle his team down here a little bit. They've had 2 penalties now in consecutive special teams plays.
Well, we had big returns come back on ill-tempted blocks and touchdown passes batted away. So it's 2 big prize fighters just exchanging blows right now, and somebody's going to make a play to turn this game around.
First down and 10 now for the Legends at the 44-yard line. Little read option here, and not going anywhere is Ryan Mansell. James Waters along with Karan Robinson. Karan Robinson has just been everywhere on defense for the team in maroon here at Aquinas tonight.
Nothing different than he's done all year. He is, in my mind, in terms of defensive players, he and TJ Jones just set the tempo.
He has to be considered as one of the best players and top players in all of Section 5. I mean, he's just putting together a terrific body of work, and including here tonight in the Far West Regional Final. And here he is again. Are there 2 number 7s out there in maroon? Because this kid, no matter where the ball is, you'll find him. And oh, by the way, some more pushing and shoving going on after this.
You know, Sal, I kind of feel the tension up here that both teams are kind of in each other's crosshairs right now, and there's a bit of emotion that shouldn't happen in football teams, and the referees and the coaches have to just play it down. Don't let emotion take precedence over the ability that the young man has. And right here, the whistle's got to be blown, and the referee has to step in between a little bit sooner.
All right, so a big 3rd down here now as Lancaster has gone backward on 2 straight plays. 3rd down and 14 for the Legends. Snap to Mansell, looking for the screen. He has Hersey. Hersey at the 45 to midfield. He's banged down. Big hit there, close to first down yardage. He won't have it, but he's a lot closer, and that was Hockheimer, once again, who made the tackle.
Yeah, Hockheimer made a tremendous hit and stopped that run from getting into first down territory here. Take a look at this, Sal. Take a look at this hit. 4th down
decision coming up. Let's see the hit by Hockheimer.
Take a look at this one.
Bam.
Here I am, and there you're down.
And here's a 4th down call. They're going to take the gamble here from just outside midfield. It's Ryan Mansell, the quarterback. On 4th down, the fans for Aquinas are getting into it. You can hear them. Mansell's going to take a timeout. 1:06 left in the 3rd quarter. What do you think of this decision if they do wind up going for it?
Well, it's kind of, the decision I mentioned before the half was done, whether or not Aquinas might throw the ball up to their great receivers. You know, if you go for it here, it's really do or die. I don't know. Both defenses are playing well. You can tell right now Coach Rupp is trying to get a feel from his players.
It is 1-0 Sabres leading the Montreal Canadiens after 2 periods of play, and you can follow all the Sabres moves and news with reporter Ted Goldberg. Ted brings you daily updates on the team with Sabres Snapshot. That's right here on Spectrum News. Let's take a look at our score update. Cicero North Syracuse has taken charge over Elmira 57-14. I'm told there's 6 minutes left in that contest, so it looks like Cicero North Syracuse is on their way to the state Final Four to take on the winner of this contest. And right now, it's Lancaster faced with a 4th down and 2 from the Aquinas 48-yard line. Mansell, he has to yell. The crowd is actually getting into it here. Now he's going to drop back. I think he might punt this one, Coach.
Oh, I think so.
Looked like they were going to line up to go for it, but he wound up punting the ball. Going to roll all the way to the end zone, and Aquinas will take over at their own 20-yard line.
Well, Sal, that was quite a quarter. There's 58 seconds left in that quarter here, but both teams came out of the locker room ready to fight for the regional championship, and now the 4th quarter comes, and you got to feel that some players, Sal, on either side, you're going to have to make a big play to turn this game around. It's amazing how good a defensive game can be. You know, Mr. Capaccio?
This is a good defensive game. I've been saying it all night.
Man.
I mean, you don't have to have a ton of scoring to have a really good football game. We've had a good game here tonight, and there has not been much scoring, just 7 points, and those 7 belong to the Lancaster Legends. And right now, they're going to have to play some defense in the open field as they do and get down number 21, Kyle Backer, with a nice tackle there on Karan Robinson. 43 seconds left, and the clock is ticking.
You know, this double wing formation, Sal, I think brings a lot of yards, points, wins, and a whole lot of enemies because some people don't like it. It's too old-fashioned. You know, the receivers are on the bench, but it still scores points. Now we're back into a spread formation, but look for them to go back to that double wing again.
They have 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, an I formation behind the quarterback clock, who's going to drop back, turn, throw, throws it down deep, has a man out there, but it's underthrown, and Lancaster was able to catch up to it. But I'm going to tell you, you've said it before tonight. Boy, I mean, they got a couple of guys that are playmakers. One of them is TJ Jones, who was wide open behind the Lancaster defense, but they just couldn't get the ball to him.
Yeah, he was a good 5 to 70 yards beyond the cover. He just broke free, but the ball was underthrown. But he was a good 60, 70 yards downfield.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
Tough throw to make for any high school quarterback there. 12 seconds left. I know clock has a pretty big arm. That's tough. 1 for 8 on 3rd downs tonight are the Aquinas Little Irish. They'll go for their 9th attempt here right now. Eric Rupp and his coaching staff are trying to get something into their players. They don't, so let's see what clock can do. It doesn't matter. They wind up getting him down and sacking him. It's a big loss on 3rd down for Aquinas.
Sal, the quarterback tried to sprint out, but credit the edge man there, right, Ben Mazer.
We are down to the end of the 3rd quarter. We will take a timeout. When we come back, the Lancaster Legends, up 7-0, are 12 minutes away from the state Final Four, but Aquinas is right in this one. It should be a dandy here on Spectrum News.
I want to come back.
Imagine if you had the power to choose whatever weather you wanted. Sunny and warm? You got it. Lawn needs a little water? No problem. The thing is, it's not possible. With Weather on the Ones, we can't control the weather, but we can give you updates every 10 minutes. So you'll be prepared for whatever weather conditions come your way. Weather on the Ones, only on Spectrum News.
No matter how perfect the weather may be, that can change in the blink of an eye. That's why Spectrum News has weather every 10 minutes. When you need the weather, we have the weather. Spectrum News, your 24-hour local news channel, has weather every 10 minutes on the ones. 1 after, 11 after, 21 after. You get it. Your next local forecast is just a few minutes away. Weather on the ones, only on Spectrum News.
I routinely get emails that say, you're too liberal or you're too conservative. I find that encouraging because it indicates to me that we're somewhere in the middle, which is what we're aiming for. And we have confidence that viewers have the capability of making their own decisions and taking in a whole wide range of information that we're hopefully providing to them, and then subsequently they can determine how they feel and what they want to do about it. That's our goal, is to inform.
Capital Tonight, weekdays at 8 and 11:30 p.m. only on Spectrum News.
If you had a magic crystal ball, it would be easy to predict the weather. But magic crystal balls don't exist. Lucky for you, there's Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News. With Weather on the Ones, you get local weather updates every 10 minutes from any device. Mornings, afternoons, or evenings. Your forecast is always right around the corner. That's better than a crystal ball. Weather on the Ones, only on Spectrum News.
7-0, Lancaster leads Aquinas here. The start of the 4th quarter at SUNY Brockport on the campus of Brockport. It is a 4th down situation here for Aquinas. And they are sending the punting unit out here from deep in their own territory. Here's a snap. It's going to go over the punter's head. That's going to go out of the back of the end zone, and that's worth 2 points. It's a safety. That is a huge play in this game because it moves it to a 2-score game, Coach.
Yeah, you know, maybe credit to weather conditions, ball being a little slippery, you know, the later the game becomes, the slipperier the ball becomes, and it's tough on the center. You feel bad for him because the ball got snapped overhead, but again, it's 2 points, and now they have to surrender the ball to the Legends. Free kick from the 20. And that is a big turning point here. And certainly the field goal that went errant on Max Giordano comes back in the form of a safety.
So the snap over the head of the punter clock, and there is a look at Coach Anacino, who is giving his kickoff team instructions because, as you said, it will be a free kick from the 20-yard line, and Lancaster will take over after this kick. They could still onside kick it, but still a little too early for that. They are down 2 scores now, though. Let's take a look at stats through 3 quarters. I mean, that 97 on the right side of your screen, just really stellar defense by Lancaster here tonight to hold this Aquinas team to 97 yards and 2.8 per play. Lancaster, on the other hand, not a really prolific offensive night. Aquinas' defense has done a good job, but they just can't seem to move the ball on offense.
For the Legends all year, Sal, the strength has been the defense, Max Giordano in terms of reception, and the quarterback in terms of throwing consistently with a little bit of Hersey mixed in there. That's just what they've done.
There's the kickoff from the free kick. It doesn't have to be a punt. Some teams do it. It's a kick. It's Giordano who's going to take it. Going to be hit at the 43-yard line and dropped right there.
Kind of back where we started it here, right near midfield.
And look, I mean, this game is far from over. I mean, this is an Aquinas team that can strike from anywhere, and they've played terrific defense tonight. They're going to have to buckle up here to try and get the ball back once again.
You know, the playmakers right at the top of the roster, talk about the single-digit people on the roster of the Little Irish. Any one of them, Sal, any one of them can be game breakers.
So far, we've had Section 6 winning all 4 of the previous contests here at Brockport, and Lancaster trying to put a bow on a clean sweep here tonight, but not if Aquinas has something to say about it here as we go into the 4th quarter, and on a big first down stop, they drive back the running back for a loss of 1.
Well, going back to this formation here, this is called the long eye, where you have 3 backs stacked up there with quarterback under center. This is going back to old-time football, even when I was coaching.
I think when I was in Pop Warner, we called it the freight train. The freight train. And then we said we'd give it to the caboose. The last guy through, let the other 2 block, right?
Isn't it ironic that 2 spread offenses now are going toe-to-toe trying to run the football?
They'll go back to that long eye or freight train, whatever you want to call it. They got 3 backs behind the quarterback. There's a snap, and it's a give to Andreessen, who is the caboose in this situation. And that is a gain of 2, so Aquinas' defense, as I said a minute ago, had to buckle up, and so far they've done it on 1st and 2nd down.
Yeah, and again, it's just great defensive play, you know, giving ground grudgingly, both sides.
Now they're going a little bit of pace here. Lancaster trying to draw off sides Aquinas. And Mansell steps back and gets a play call. Still 9 on the play clock. Down to 5 on the play clock. Milking it for all it's worth as the clock runs. 10:20 left in regulation. Andreessen does not get the first down. A great play made there. Coming in is Kobe McNair from his secondary spot to make a tackle.
You know, being a long eye, it takes a little while for the tailback to reach the line of scrimmage, and the defensive secondary, as you mentioned, Sal, are so mobile, so active, so fast. You know, they get at the point of attack so quickly here.
So it's 4th down now, and the last time they're in this situation, it appeared they were going to go, but they wound up punting the football, and I think that might be what's happening again here as Mansell drops back about 10 yards.
Credit to Little Irish for a good stop near midfield, and now it's Aquinas' turn to return the kick.
Mansell, he'll punt it. Doesn't go very far. It's going to bounce at the 30-yard line is where it goes out of bounds. So Aquinas will take over there. What does Aquinas need to do to figure something out to move the football? How would you approach these possessions now, which become critical here as the game winds down.
Well, they've been here before, Sal. As I mentioned before, this is not, new territory for Aquinas. They've been behind. They rallied. What they do, though, they get the ball into their playmakers' hands. You're talking about T.J. Jones. You're talking about Karan Robinson. These are the guys that are going to score touchdowns for you. And that receiver split out there. Look for him to make some big catches.
A 5-man front now for Lancaster. And that's going to backward pass, and it's going to go to Lancaster. They're going to call that a fumble. It was a backward pass, and it wound up in the hands of the Legends.
Critical mistake there. Kobe McNair just kind of stepped back, and you know what, Sal, even from our vantage point, it was a backward pass, was pretty obvious.
Yep.
Ball was just hit enough.
You see where he releases it there, clearly backward.
Just enough for the defender to pick up the football. And credit Kyle Backert for making a critical recovery here.
When I talk about teams being well coached, that's a great example because there's lots of kids who stop when that ball hits the ground. Kyle Backert was running to the football because he knew that might be a backward pass because he's coached to do that.
And maybe have a slippery ball for the ball, centered over the punter's head, and maybe that ball being not caught there. Maybe the weather conditions have something to do with it. But anyway, the Legends were picking up on a fumble here, and credit them for that.
So it's 9-0 Lancaster with the lead and the football, and just under 9 minutes left here in regulation.
You wonder whether or not that might have been a double pass, Sal, in terms of that. You don't know, but sometimes it's not the plays that are made, the ones that are not made are the ones that come back and bite you. But the coaches are looking for somebody to make a play.
There's a throw, and this time this is a forward pass, going to be incomplete. I like the play call, though, whether it was a double pass or not, because Lancaster was packed in. They were running with a 5-man front. They had 8 guys, 9 guys tight to the box. And I'll tell you, if you complete that pass, you give Kobe McNair a lot of room on the outside to go one-on-one.
He's lightning. Yeah, he is. And not only him, but we talked about other players on that team that can make plays. Aquinas is never out of a football game, no matter where the ball is on the field. Defense can make big plays and turn them into touchdowns.
3rd down now and 11 for the Legends. Ball sits at the 21-yard line of Aquinas. Mansell looks, has Giordano, throws it. Giordano with one hand tried to come up with it into double coverage. A good job by the Aquinas defense to knock it away, but Max Giordano gave every effort to come down with that with one hand. He couldn't do it.
Marlon Connor Jr. had great position in this one, Sal. Take a look at it. He was glued, perfect position, knocked it down. He's a pretty good athlete in himself. Look how tall he is.
Oh, yeah.
He's a gifted young defensive back.
6 foot 180, the senior here. Doesn't want his career to end tonight on this field. Makes a play to knock that one down. We had a flag on the play. They're going to march it back, and it's going to remain 4th down. So Lancaster on 4th down. Actually, the penalty was declined. It brings up 4th down for Lancaster.
It seems like every down is so critical, Sal, and it's just this second half has started. Every 3rd and 4th down is a tense moment for both teams.
This is a 4th down for Lancaster. Here's the snap, the throw. Looking for Martin. It's going to be intercepted or incomplete. Ball hit the turf. It's incomplete. The ball wound up hitting the turf, and on 4th down, it's going to be turned over on downs. Martin was the intended receiver out there.
Great coverage, too. Casey Hockheimer's there, too. I mean, just watch. The ball's up in the air. The safety came over. Both people in the right spot.
I'll tell you, though, Ryan Mansell put that ball in the right spot. I mean, it's either my guy or even if it's intercepted in the end zone, who cares, right?
Exactly. Aquinas' turn.
Here comes clock. Avoids a tackler, and now it's going to be incomplete as the ball batted around after it was knocked out of his arm.
You know, both coaches are putting extreme. When I see extreme pressure, I mean, if 4 people aren't getting there, 5 are coming. If 5 aren't coming there, 6 are coming. You know, sometimes I don't think they'll ever drop 8, but I mean, there's a lot of pressure coming from all different kind of angles, and these quarterbacks cannot be ready for that kind of pressure cell.
You took a look at Joe Andreessen there just a moment ago. He's played an outstanding game on the defensive side of the ball and contributed on offense with some key runs as well. But right now, Aquinas needs to get their offense in gear. They need to get it going.
Here comes pressure up the middle.
There's the toss, and it's going to be another one that's knocked down and incomplete. John Clock on the pass that winds up falling to the turf. Closest man to it there was Brett Beto, number 40 for Lancaster. Beto, a 5'11 senior.
You know, I got to give some props to Nick Ganachino, the coach's son. He's the center. He makes all the calls for Aquinas. And today, he's seen an onslaught of a lot of blitzes. He's a tremendous young man. Interviewed him at practice. His father's got to be awful, awful proud of that center.
2 safeties drop back for Lancaster. They know Aquinas needs some yards on this one, but they're going to run the ball right into the teeth of the defense and not going anywhere. So that'll bring up 4th down with 7:59 left, and the punting unit comes in. Time is becoming a critical factor in this game. Remember, because of the safety, it's now a 2-possession game for Lancaster.
You know, Sal, it's getting to the point now where the stranglehold is not one single player or players. It's the whole defense. That's the player on both sides that is really putting a stranglehold in this game. You know, it almost looks like the defense has to make the big play to turn the whole game around.
Clock is the punter. He stands back at his own 8-yard line. This time the snap is good, and he had to get it away quickly because the rush was coming. And he does a good job on a low kick to get it down to the 40-yard line of the Legends.
Boy, I'll say, I mean, if that's on replay, I mean, the blocker, I mean, the person attempting to block that kick was almost in his hip pocket. He turned the punt away to the left-hand side of the formation, and it turned out to be a great kick.
So Clock will walk off. He's been frustrated tonight on a few different levels.
Yeah, watch this, Sal. I mean, watch the oncoming rusher over here. Pretty tight to his right side, but he just adjusted the kick and made a good one.
Well, Ruben Torres got just enough of him to knock him off his path to make sure he didn't block it there, and now Lancaster takes over. 1st down. This is Andreessen at quarterback once again. So Andreessen gets driven back, the guy they go to here when they just want to kind of grind down the clock as much as they can in this situation. We're inside 7 minutes to play.
You know, it's kind of a maze that Aquinas had a 3-man front there in that running formation, but they brought some pressure.
That's the final score. Cicero North Syracuse all over Elmira, 57-14. They will play the winner of this game.
I got to congratulate CNS not only for the winning of this game, but their first sectional championship. That seems unreal, but this year was a big year for them.
Great job by them. Andreessen's going to hold on to it. Not a smart decision there. He could have given it off, but instead he takes a 6-yard loss. Once again, it's James Waters in on the stop. He's been a very good player here tonight for that defensive line.
You know, it's got to be tough for Joe Andreessen to be on the field almost 100 minutes a game. It seems like he's doing everything. And to be the guy that wants to take it around the edge for a guy his size, I think you're asking a lot of him, but there's no quitting that kid at all, and he's the heart and soul of that big-time running game.
Karan Robinson also in on the stop. He's been all over the field tonight on the defensive side. 7 on the play clock here. Snap to Mansell, gives it off to Hersey. Hersey bouncing off defenders. Hersey only gets to the 39-yard line, not even back to the original line of scrimmage before he's brought down.
It's pretty amazing how the Aquinas secondary rallies to the ball. Watch, it just looks like he has some running room here, and then watch about 4 or 5 tacklers arrive at the same time. That means they are pursuing the football with a vengeance.
Coach Eric Rupp calls has to look over one of his injured players, I should say, as there is a timeout on the field. The Lancaster Legends lead this one by a score of 9-0 here in this contest.
You know, Sal, maybe this is the time to talk about today, of all days, as being November 11th.
We let you do that in here 1 second. Let's do this first. Let's tell you about this coming Wednesday on Spectrum News. Kevin Carroll and Sabre alum Andrew Preters break down the Sabres plays, players, and analysis on Chevy Silverado Hockey Tonight. You have 2 times to watch Wednesday night at 6:30 and 10:30 p.m. right here only on Spectrum News. We have a 4th down coming up here for the Legends. 5:20 remaining. And some flags come in, and we'll see what the situations say. Maybe too many men or illegal substitution call. It is going to be that against Aquinas. They do have too many men. They started off this one with 12 guys on the field.
Yeah, Colby McNair was not needed.
Coach Anacino, not happy about that one. Every yard matters here as his team trails by 9 points with 5:12 left, and they're getting the ball back, it appears. Long count on the punt. Low punt. Winds up bouncing at the 30 and going out of bounds right there. So Aquinas now will come out down by 9 with 4:47 left, taking over at their own 29-yard line.
Well, it's going to happen now with the offense. You know, the quarterback came off the field a little dismayed last time on the series of downs, but plenty of time left, 4:47.
You see what they've done tonight. It hasn't been a very good offensive night here for Aquinas. 22 yards is their longest drive of this half, despite 5 different possessions.
Defense has been just so stingy for him.
There's an interception.
Brett Beto.
Brett Beto playing his coverage perfectly, getting his hands on the ball. He just missed one a little while ago, and this time he comes up with it.
Yeah, terrific play here, Sal. What he did is that he got depth. All linebackers now, if you're watching at home over here, Brett got deep enough and got underneath the throw, and that young man is headed to the University of Tampa on a lacrosse scholarship, but before he gets there, he's looking at a state championship, and you'll see him over here just get at the right frame, and he was at the right depth. And that's the thing about linebacking, Sal, is that interceptions are made away from the line of scrimmage, not necessarily close to him. Drive on death. Great play by the young man.
Well, Brett Beto winds up with the interception there for Lancaster. Now his team has the ball, and they can just grind some more clock down here, Coach. With 4.5 minutes left, they can start to smell a regional, Far West Regional Championship.
Like we were talking, Sal, the stranglehold is done by the defense, and somebody from the defense just stepped up.
Beto back on the field here. He is the H-back in this situation. Hersey, the running back. They'll put Mansell in the shotgun.
2 heavyweight fighters, Sal, slugging it out.
Here comes the blitz. Little run blitz there, but they give it to Hersey, who tries to get outside. He can't. He's brought down. The clock will continue to run there, and then a timeout is called here, I believe, by Aquinas, down 9-0. It is Veterans Day here at the stadium, and I know that a lot of people out there who are watching are those who serve this country.
You know, Sarah, we talked about this, before the game. We do a day like today just to honor those who have served so honorably in the military, whether during war or peacetime, for the things we take for granted today, this football game, everything we enjoy in life, and
well, if you're looking for the latest news on the Bills, tune in for Spectrum News Blitz. Daily reports from John Scott on the team, whether at home or on the road. Spectrum News is there with the latest. Watch Spectrum News Blitz.
And let me finish the comment by saying the same core values that those who served in the military have. I mean, we kind of emulate on the gridiron, all those things about teamwork, camaraderie, dedication, selflessness, all those things that motivate the military, motivate these young men on the football field. And it's kind of kind of a commonality here that we share for Veterans Day. We do honor those who have served our country.
If you have served, we thank you so much. We thank you for tuning in tonight, but more importantly, we thank you for all the sacrifices in your service here on this Veterans Day. Well said, Coach, and thank you very much for doing that. Here's a give on 3rd down, and Hersey is brought down here at about the 32-yard line. So now it'll be 4th down and 5. We want to take time while we're doing that to thank Ivory, our audio guy in the truck. He served in Kuwait. He was in the Army, and we want to thank him. He's on our crew here tonight, and he's one of the many veterans out there who we want to honor this weekend and today.
Yeah, thank you so much. And everybody out there, I think any family is touched by today in terms of someone, past, present, that has served in the military. It's just
we're surrounded by veterans up here. My friend Roger from WGR Sports Radio 550, who does so much for high school football on the air in West New York. He's standing here. We want to thank him for his service. What branch were you in? Army, right there. So Roger's in the Army as well. So thank you very much for your service here.
Thank you, Mr. Weiss.
You're welcome. Thank you. 3:46 remaining. 4th down and 5. The Bills will have their salute to service tomorrow at their home game against the New Orleans Saints. Teams around the league have been doing that this week. Hockey teams, the Sabres did that. Speaking of the Sabres and watching all the news here on Spectrum, they did the same thing with the honoring the troops yesterday, honoring salute to service. So we want to make sure that we do all of that the right way, and thank you for doing that. There's a 1st down run down to the 25-yard line. That's going to grind some more clock here for Lancaster.
Well, give credit to both teams. It looks as if now the running game takes a little bit of maybe starts out of the defense, this late in the game. But again, with 3:34 left, that last interception by Vito, I kind of feel, Sal, is taking a little emotion out of the Little Irish. And both defenses, though, have played so well today. It's incredible.
Well, I made a comment a few weeks ago, Coach, after we saw Lancaster, and I think you and I both knew that maybe this was going to happen. They were on a collision course with Aquinas. I said a few weeks ago that I think that the winner of this game could very well win the state championship, and I'm going to stick to that. I think Lancaster looks like they're going to come out of this game as the victor. They should be, I think, from what I've seen and the way I follow the state, I think they should be the favorite right now to win the state championship.
Well, we don't know what's on the other side. You're talking about Troy High School, Sal. I mean, I think they're ready to string their 24th straight win together here. So there's some pretty good teams on the other side of the state, but this team has kind of gelled. They felt some adversity today, and they kind of gelled, and they found a new identity, and they're going to grow. I mean, they're going to grow from this win internally because you need some adversity to grow as a team.
There's Hersey out to the 15, down to the 10 before he's brought down, and another 1st down carry as the clock is stopped with 2:25 remaining. So the party is on the other side of the field on the Lancaster sideline and in the bleachers, because the crowd that made the trip 1 hour down the 90 to get here to Brockport from Lancaster is starting to feel it. The state Final Four is within their reach.
Coach Anacino had a heck of a year. After that loss to Victor, had some great wins on the road. Ursuline, Ohio, McQuaid, Canisius, a big win, 31-7 win. I mean, and he's had a great year. It's just that faced a pretty good team tonight in the Legends.
For a 1st down run there, does it get much? It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Purpose now is to run some clock and live to fight another day.
Yeah, looks like there are more fans on the Lancaster side left in this one than on the Aquinas side because of all the people that came, and I think that some of the Aquinas people, have come to watch this game. They want to, head back to their homes a little bit early tonight to get a little warm, but the Lancaster people are here, and they're watching their team wrap up a Far West Regional title with 1:05 left and the clock ticking. Eric Rupp is going to take his team to the Final Four.
Great contest, Sal, by both teams. Both coaches prepared their teams equally well. Just you know, it's a pleasure to see a defensive battle. I kind of mentioned that again and again, but really that's the heart and soul of a great football game. Wow.
This is a game that really Aquinas' defense did a very good job. They held Lancaster out of the end zone, all but for one score tonight. Lancaster had maybe one here. They're trying to get in again. They're going to get down to the goal line area, but they've scored 7 points, and they got a 2 on a safety. But it really was Lancaster's defense this night. That's what really won this game for the Legends here tonight, because Aquinas played as well as you could against a tough Lancaster offense to hold them to only 7 points on that side of the ball.
Yeah, and Aquinas has so many weapons on that side of the football. Credit to the Lancaster defense for putting a stop on them. Talked about Colby McNair and T.J. Jones, Karan Robinson. You go down the list, Sal, there's a terrific amount of playmakers that, by the way, are coming back. There's some emotion.
You see it, Coach Rupp, they're dancing. They're partying from the Lancaster Elks to Magruder's to the French pub and everywhere in between in Lancaster tonight. Your Legends are going to the Final Four.
What a great feeling.
And I know one man who's really, really happy right now, and I know that you're going to see him after the game, and that's your coach that you played for, Coach.
Yeah, Coach Forla is every bit part of this thing as anybody. He's a guy that lectures them, 90-plus years old.
He's here tonight. He's watching his team. He's 90 years old, and he still loves his Legends.
And they're going to make sure they take him home before he turns into an icicle.
he may want to stay here all night.
Yeah.
He's going to be so happy about this one.
Yeah, we all love him.
The final score on the Far West Class AA Regional, 9-0. The Lancaster Legends post a shutout over the Aquinas Lil Irish. We are going to take a timeout, and we're going to come back here and wrap some things up for you as the Lancaster Legends continue to play another week.
Imagine if you had the power to choose whatever weather you wanted. Sunny and warm? You got it. Lawn needs a little water? No problem. The thing is, it's not possible. With Weather on the Ones, we can't control the weather, but we can give you updates every 10 minutes. So you'll be prepared for whatever weather conditions come your way. Weather on the Ones, only on Spectrum News.
No matter how perfect the weather may be, that can change in the blink of an eye. That's why Spectrum News has weather every 10 minutes. When you need the weather, we have the weather. Spectrum News, your 24-hour local news channel, has weather every 10 minutes on the ones. 1 after, 11 after, 21 after. You get it. Your next local forecast is just a few minutes away. Weather on the ones, only on Spectrum News.
I routinely get emails that say, you're too liberal or you're too conservative. I find that encouraging because it indicates to me that we're somewhere in the middle, which is what we're aiming for. And we have confidence that viewers have the capability of making their own decisions and taking in a whole wide range of information that we're hopefully providing to them, and then subsequently they can determine how they feel and what they want to do about it. That's our goal, is to inform.
Capital Tonight, weekdays at 8 and 11:30 p.m. only on Spectrum News.
If you had a magic crystal ball, it would be easy to predict the weather. But magic crystal balls don't exist. Lucky for you, there's Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News. With Weather on the Ones, you get local weather updates every 10 minutes from any device. Mornings, afternoons, or evenings. Your forecast is always right around the corner. That's better than a crystal ball. Weather on the Ones, only on Spectrum News.
9-0, the Lancaster Legends wrap it up here in the Class AA Far West Regional over the Aquinas Lil Irish. Aquinas has nothing to be ashamed of. They had a great season, and they played a very good football game here tonight. But that man right there, Joe Andreessen, was just a little too much on the defensive side with his Lancaster teammates. keeping Aquinas out of the end zone and off the scoreboard all night. He is our player of the game. You see Andreessen here at quarterback running the read option. Tough to bring down. He just does so much for this team.
And as valuable as he was on offense here, defense doubly so in terms of putting pressure, sacking running backs. He's just a force, you know, and also plays offensive tackle.
Yes, he does, and he's done a great job, and right now he's being honored as well at midfield as being the MVP of the Far West Regional. You take a look at our stats here tonight, it was really all Lancaster on the defensive side. They didn't have an unbelievable game offensively, 236 yards. Yeah, that's nice, but look at that 96 on the other side, holding Aquinas to 5 first downs and 2.5 yards per play. That is outstanding against a great offense.
I think it's suffice to say that defense wins championships. I think in this case it really happened here, and you know, credit the Legends defense. And it's across the board, too. Not only Joe Andreessen, it was a total team effort, Sal.
Yes, it was, and the Lancaster Legends will take that team effort to Union Endicott next weekend to play Cicero North Syracuse. The winner of that game gets to the Carrier Dome Thanksgiving weekend to play for a state championship. Coach, I think that this team could do that. Obviously, to get this far, they can, but they show what it takes, I think, to get to and win a state title with the kind of defense they play.
Yeah, I think you want to look ahead to, I think it's Troy against Newburgh Free Academy at Middletown High School. The Section 9 championship Newburgh, or champion Newburgh, rather, will have that semifinal going on there. So whatever happens at the Dome. But the first thing is UE.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. One more time, we want to thank all of our veterans, everybody who served in the armed forces, for being with us. It's your weekend to honor you as we sign off here tonight from Brockport. For my partner, Len Jankowicz, for our director-producer, Rick Carnath, I'm Sal Capaccio saying congratulations to the Lancaster Legends. You're going to the state Final Four. Enjoy it tonight, Lancaster, and good night from here in Brockport, New York.
Imagine if you had the power to choose whatever weather you wanted. Sunny and warm? You got it. Lawn needs a little water? No problem. The thing is, it's not possible. With Weather on the Ones, we can't control the weather, but we can give you updates every 10 minutes. So you'll be prepared for whatever weather conditions come your way. Weather on the Ones, only on Spectrum News.
I routinely get emails that say, you're too liberal or you're too conservative. I find that encouraging because it indicates to me that we're somewhere in the middle, which is what we're aiming for. And we have confidence that viewers have the capability of making their own decisions and taking in a whole wide range of information that we're hopefully providing to them, and then subsequently they can determine how they feel and what they want to do about it. And that's our goal, is to inform.
Capital Tonight, weekdays at 8 and 11:30 p.m. only on Spectrum News.
If you had a magic crystal ball, it would be easy to predict the weather. But magic crystal balls don't exist. Lucky for you, there's Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News. With Weather on the Ones, you get local weather updates every 10 minutes.